Okay. Okay. Sweet Jesus. So, it turns out, uh, I was very perplexed why, um, strange things were happening. Like, I was like, why is my internet so slow? Like, what is happening? Turns out that my familia, because I don't live by myself, I live with my family, because that's just the way life works these days. And I, because of the pandemic, my sister moved back home because of the pandemic, and I have like a very fancy setup into my internet, which is very very good. But my mother occasionally works from home, not always, um, but she was having some issues with like the Wi-Fi in the house, which I don't use Wi-Fi. I have like a direct link into our Ethernet, and so she was having a lot of problems. So I was like, okay, well, I could always put y'all on the Ethernet, and so I did. And until today, that hasn't been an issue, because I was sitting there trying to get all my game files verified and everything. I was like, what the hell is going on? And it turns out she's down there doing a bunch of crap. Um, and my parents are not, they're not the most technologically abled. They're not completely useless, so to speak. Like, they're able to do a good amount of stuff, but especially when it comes to like PCs, they struggle. So I'm sure whatever she's doing is probably eating up just a hilarious amount of bandwidth, and I suspect that was what was nuking my download, because normally it's much quicker than that. Normally when I usually don't mind at all, like, verifying my game files and, like, messing around with stuff, because it takes me, like, maybe 5 minutes. But that took, like, 2 hours. That was ridiculous. Anyway, hello! Welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. I apologize for that break in our scheduled programming. Hopefully it was not too agonizing. Does the stream look okay? Is everything, like, running? I'm hoping that at least the stream quality was not borked. But yeah, it explained a lot today, because I was even trying to watch a Twitch stream earlier today, and it just kept buffering, and I was like, what is going on? What is happening? Yeah. Don't get me wrong, though. I love my folks. Like, I was more than happy to help them out and get everything running just fine. It was just that brief moment of confusion and frustration. All right, we have a lot to do. I want to actually get in like a decent amount of stuff. Where's Thutep going? How did I want to round out your army, bro? What do I have 4 turns left on? Oh. Ah, I want Lamazash so bad. I would really like a casket for his army. And I was sending him here for some reason, maybe so he could get some more basic troops. Whatever, just get moving. Can I say Jack sucks for you? Yeah, sure. Jack sucks. Hopefully Jack doesn't take it too harsh. Because I don't know anything about him. Don't take that out of context. Wow, I do not have, like, any of the stuff I need for all this. Alright, so first things first, where are we at with Archon? We're saving up to get the Venom Knights. And I'm honestly pretty happy with where his army's at. I think we might get rid of the Chosen of the Gods and pick up another unit of... Yeah, let's do that. Let's get rid of the Chosen of the Gods. And I kind of want... I think I want a Chariot. Or a Tomb Scorpion. So we'll pick up a Tomb Scorpion. And then we'll get 2 units of Snake Boy Knights. And we'll be all set. King Rakash, you are supposed to have lots of elite infantry. So let's get you rolling on that. And then where do I want to put my finances right now? Has there ever been sentient weather? That's an interesting question. Has there ever been sentient weather? Not... Yes. Yes. There is sentient weather in the Ogre Kingdoms. The Mountains of Morn, and also the Chaos Wastes. If you go to the Chaos Wastes or the Mountains of Morn, then yes, it is absolutely possible to run into sentient storms or sentient weather. And as I'm sure you can guess, it's not a good time. Because unfortunately, there's a considerable habit that whenever something that's not sentient becomes sentient, it tends to always be bad. It always tends to be bad news. Also, thank you for all the people either subscribing on YouTube or following on Twitch. I appreciate it. I need to update my Streamlabs after the stream. Hey, Happy Puppy, how are you doing? You're welcome for the host. More than happy to. I hope things are going well. I've been rather greatly enjoying your streams. I usually have them on when I'm up to either writing or getting up for the day. I don't really want to fight that big army yet. Does Kolek count as a sentient storm? I don't think so. There is certainly a sentient storm about him-ish. I mean, he's able to control and redirect lightning. That's not insignificant. You need more archers. Yeah. I almost think... I kind of want him on foot instead of a chariot. Like, chariots are cool and all, but I'd rather him be able to, like, get into combat and stay in combat, and I think the best way to do that is on foot, not on a chariot. We will have a chariot lord, but it will not be him. Let's get the Vulture Mountains finished. Ah, Hup, that's so great to hear. Puppy, I'm very pleased. For anyone that doesn't know, Happy Puppy is over on Twitch right now, but she is a absolutely fantastic up-and-coming Total War Warhammer caster. I was trying to think of the word. Like someone that watches games and casts them live. I would really recommend checking out her Twitch channel if you haven't already. I think she definitely has a very, very good handle on the game. And I really look forward to seeing what kind of stuff she'll be up to in the future. Where are we at with the Black Pyramid? We're growing. Okay, that's fine. Dude! Palooka! Palooka, we were showing off your Tenuan model earlier in stream. You've never played campaign? Oh, that's gotta change. I actually, I recall Happy Puppy watching your... I thought Happy Puppy was Chloe. No, sorry, no. No, Happy Puppy is a person. Chloe's a dog. So Palooka, I was showing off the Tehiniwan in progress pics on stream, but what I wanted to ask is, do you have the final pictures of the Gotrek model you did? I wanted to show that off. Thought she was a VTuber? No, she's not a VTuber. To my... Not that I'm aware of, anyway. Nope. She does have a lovely French accent, though. Her English is great, though. There's not, like... She's not difficult to understand, which can be the case with some... That can sometimes be the case with foreign streamers, but not in her case. Wait, where's the other chat? They're on YouTube. No. Palooka, send it to me on Discord. Because I don't, because the bot will catch anything, or links. Okay, so Archon will be ready to go in 2 turns. Well, she's a Twitch streamer, not a YouTuber, that I'm aware. No, you have a YouTube channel, Puppy. I just don't think you've uploaded to it in a while. Which you should definitely put your VODs on there. If you'd like to. I know that there are some people that find Twitch not really up their alley, and they prefer watching YouTube, so that could be a good way to get that interaction. What's happened in this campaign so far? Oh yeah, there she is. Okay, now she's in YouTube chat as well. So far, we've killed Cetra the Imperishable. We totally wiped out Cetra. And we've conquered the entire western half of the Southlands. Minus these last few pesky humans. Archon the Black is max level. And we've taken the Black Pyramid of Nagash and the Black Tower of Archon. So we're doing great at that. Both of those. And right now, we're just we're kind of in that slow part of every campaign where we are essentially making sure that all of our defenses are up to code, so to speak, so that my armies can start setting out across the planet in preparation for further violence. So we're kind of like building up all of our armies and finishing out a bunch of various structures, yada 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 yada. I think in El Haik we might do. I want more bone giants, so I think we'll wait for now. And then Rakash, let's have attack Wadi El Tubuk. And we can go from there. Okay, let's start getting that place finished out. That being said, what I was going to say, Puppy, is I recall you mentioning that the campaign sometimes felt a little slow to you. And if that is the case, and you're looking to get into campaign, I think for someone that's looking for like a more fast-paced experience, the best place to start is I would go with Vampire Coast. Vampire Coast has a really, really good campaign that's not like crazy difficult, but it's also really fast-paced and allows you to just like get over with. Okay, so I'm just gonna post Palooka's link in both chats. So if y'all want, you can go check out, that's Palooka's Instagram. But that's his Gotrek model that I had him do as well. I don't own that model. I gave it to a friend, like I said, who was in desperate need of it. But you can check that out. Do I have what I need to deal with this? I don't have a lot of AP. Let's fall back for now. How did the Slain Jamonte, are you... What do you mean by the slain? You mean the Slawn? I'm not 100% sure what you're asking about. But yeah, right now he's working on my Tehenen one. If you haven't already, you should definitely consider... No, not consider. You should follow Palooka on Twitch. Because every Wednesday he paints. He has a painting live stream. And we're going to fight these guys because I hate these guys. But you can watch him on stream. And right now he's working on a bunch of stuff. But one of the things he's working on is my Tehenen one model. And I'm super excited to continue watching the saga of Tehenen one being painted. Oh, that reminds me. Palooka, I wanted to... Well, just remind me to talk to you after the stream. I'll just do that. Do bone giants only use bows in the lore, or can they use other weapons? They can use other weapons. So funny enough, bone giants are not called bone giants anymore. Bone giants that's what their old name is. It used to be that bone giants were called they were called Necrolith Colossus. I want to say it's Necrolith Colossus. But there are 3 kinds. You could take them with a giant bow. You could take them with dual weapons, so they'd have one weapon in each hand, which was actually their preferred version because it was really, really strong. Or you could take them with a great weapon. But in Total War Warhammer, those versions are kind of redundant because they because the dual weapons one was good for fighting infantry, but that's what the War Sphinx is for, and the great weapon version was good for fighting monsters, but that's what the Necro Sphinx is for. So they kind of streamlined it in Total War and just made it a pure ranged unit, but in the lore you could encounter them with any number of things. By the way, I hope y'all like this army. It's just like mass constructs, because this is King Thutep, and King Thutep's special trait, as he's one of your research lords, his special trait is he buffs the living garbage out of Necrosphinx or Cimmerian War Sphinxes. So he makes it where Cimmerian War Sphinxes are way stronger than they normally are. So of course I'm taking an army of mostly War Sphinxes, backed up by other constructs. Because why not, right? Kill the Shaggoth. Platypus Magic, thank you so much for the kind words, my dude. I really appreciate it. Ah, Carlos, that would be cool. Yeah, that one's kind of getting in an awkward angle. I hate this army. The Celestial Storm. This army is so not appropriate on any level whatsoever. I don't understand why Creative Assembly put it in the game. Frickin' hybrid Lizardman Ogre Kingdoms BS. Get him! Let's go! Get a Spirit Leech on that Shaggoth. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell my Light Wizard to Bjorn's Time Warp all of my War Sphinxes. So they have hilariously high melee attack. Let's also get a Foss Protection out there. Just all the buff magic. Let's get a Restore on this guy. Yeah. 69 melee defense. Nice. Let's get him in there. Stalkers! Let's put that anti-large to work, please. I really want to get Tomb Guard with halberds in this army. I suppose a banishment would not hurt. Lizardman with chaos? Yeah, I know, it's an abomination. I legit would pay money to have this group just removed from the game. I should probably get a mod that does that. It hurts my Lizardman sensibilities. It's like the least lore-friendly thing in the game. It's one of 2 times. This thing being in the game caused one of 2 instances where I legit, like, chewed out a CA employee. One of 2 times that's happened. The other time being when Teclis got put on a Phoenix. You aren't featured in the Great Plan, so you wouldn't understand. What time tomorrow is the Monsterous Arcanum episode coming out? That's a good question. Part of me thinks I should put it out. It'll probably come out at noon. I would say noon CST, because according to my analytics, because I've actually started to look at my analytics for the first time ever, which shows you how bad I am at my job. But according to my analytics, people tend to be most active in the channel around noon. So that's probably when we'll drop the new episode. Could Teclis technically ride an Arcane Phoenix in the lore? It is theoretically possible, but if you read any of the stories involving Teclis, you know how very, very uncomfortable he is being on a mount. Teclis does not like riding animals. He hates it, in fact. Like, even getting him on something a little more low-key, like a griffin, is, like, borderline traumatic for him. He'll do it if he has to. But he much prefers running around on foot. Like, he doesn't even ride a horse a lot of the time. Like, even if he needs to get somewhere quickly, he will very rarely ride a horse, because he gets sick very easily. And the other thing about Teclis, here's the real thing, though. Like, kind of on a more meta perspective, my big issue with Teclis on a Phoenix is it changes. He rides a Griffin in Giant Slayer. He does, and he hates it. And he only rides it for a very brief amount of time. And he never rides it again. He only uses it to get somewhere that he has to get to, like, really quickly. But the big thing about Teclis is that a core facet of his design is that he is bad in close combat. He can, like, very, very desperately deal with combat using the Sword of Teclis. But the whole thing about Teclis is you're supposed to be basically taking a very, very powerful wizard with the understanding that there is that he is very vulnerable in close combat, and you need to take that into account when you're, like, controlling him and figuring out where he needs to go and stuff. The problem with putting him on an Arcane Phoenix is that by doing that, you're literally putting Teclis on the toughest mount in the roster. And Total War Warhammer does not have a concept of separating the rider from the mount. They're basically a single entity with shared stats, right? So you take Teclis, whose whole thing is that he's a really powerful wizard, in exchange for being not good at close combat, and you're giving him super baller close combat abilities and making him insanely tough. And it's not Teclis anymore. That's just not Teclis. Like, you might as well, like, it's just not. You're literally eliminating a core facet of his design philosophy. Just because... And it wasn't done because they were like, oh, this would make sense in the story, or this is like a core component of this character. It was literally just somebody, a certain individual or group was just like, oh, this would be cool. And that was it. And it's just like, ugh. But yeah, Teklas having a horse, that was like, ooh, okay, like, I get it, and that's acceptable, but that's like, that's a little bit of a stretch. And then they just came out of left field, we're like, frickin' Phoenix! And it was like, oh my god, are you kidding? Like, if you want a Phoenix character, then put what's-his-face in the game? Lamasash! Put frickin' Caradryan in the game. Caradryan is the Phoenix character. And I still want Caradryan as a legendary lord. I think Caradryan would be absolutely amazing. And that's the thing, is I get really easily riled up by significant changes like that. Like, some of them, I understand. Like, some of them, there's enough, like, okay, I can... Like, they gave Lokir Felheart a dragon. Alright. Like, I understand why they gave him a dragon. It's a little weird, but, like, you know, they gave it a unique name, and it you know, he is a character that is ultimately, like, motivated by power and stuff, and he can't just, like, be on his boat a lot of the time. So, like, I get it. It works. It's a little bit of a stretch, but it works. And, you know, characters getting mounts that are, like, below the mount they ride, that's fine. You know, you're like, oh, well, okay, we don't want Kroq-Gar to just come out of the gate on Grimlock, so we gave him the option of being on a horned one or a cold one. Totally cool with that. Or, you know, Tehenin one in Tabletop could ride a Intern of the Gods, and he rides one in one of his more famous battles, but... You know, to get him up to that point, we gave him the ability to ride on a horned one, because skinks could ride those, and we gave him the ability to ride on a Ripperdactyl, which characters normally didn't do in the lore, but, like, there's no reason he couldn't. They just, Games Workshop just didn't do it. It's like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like, I'm totally cool with that. Hopefully that makes sense. What's done with Maelstrom is that it's basically stronger than Seraphon due to poison. Yeah, Maelstrom... I have mixed feelings on Maelstrom. But it's there, and, like, it's like, whatever. It's there. You can't do anything about it now. It's there. I mean, that's kind of the way I feel about the Phoenix, too. It's like, I don't like it, but it's in the game, so... Not a lot you can do about it now, unfortunately. Once it's in the game, like, it's... it's there. I am personally very against removing content. Like, once it's in the game, it's in the game. Like, I think removing stuff is not a good habit. That's why, like, I'm very against removing the, like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, we should get rid of the Tomb King, or the regular Vampire Lord and the Strigoi Ghoul King. And I'm like, no, leave them alone. Like, you can change the way they work to make them, like, have a more clear role, but do not, do not, like, remove them from the game. That's too far. Give Nakai a mount. Nakai should absolutely not have a mount. Just buff Nakai's stats until he's good. If I recall correctly, the big issue with Nakai is that his charge bonus is, like, complete garbage. Despite the fact he's, like, a big old dino boy. Which is just the ultimate heresy. Ah, we're so close to getting max Black Tower of Archon. Give it to me! Okay, I think we're good for this turn. Okay, we're getting really close to being able to kind of, like, spread our wings and fly. Give Sigvald a mount? Sigvald would never allow some dirty creature to touch him. ever. Sigvald would not allow that. The mammoth for Wulfric? Yeah, like, I understood the mammoth for Wulfric, but it was a little silly. Taking a hardcore duelist character and giving him a mount so big that he would never realistically be able to, like, do anything on it was pretty silly. Give Nakai a Pterodon? So, okay, let's do that. Let's take Nakai and just have 2 Pterodons, like, one grabs each shoulder, and they fly him around like the deck dropper unit. That'll work. That'll be a true masterpiece. Nope, not that. What if the mount is a Sigvald clone? I feel like if Sigvald ran into a copy of himself, he would just never be playable because he would be too busy. Like, he would just cease to exist as a character. He would just be that meme of the guy that does, like, the peace sign and he just, like, fades. Fades away. You just never see him again. Ah, it's Gotrek and Felix, huh? I'll take Gotrek and Felix versus Archon the Black. That'll be fun. I still found it completely hilarious that Creative Assembly actually came out and had the legit audacity to put like skinks on the back of a Dreadsaurian. That nearly sent me to another plane of existence as like such a awesome but completely unnecessary type of creature. It's like, ah yes, the most powerful lizardman dinosaur that will probably be in the game, though so many people want a thunder lizard. I feel like it could happen somehow, even though I don't understand how that would work. But I could see it just because people want it, and CA is kind of like, oh, well, if people want it, let's give it to them. But like, I watched, but when I saw that for the first time, I was like, why? Why is there, like a giant garrison of skinks on the back of this thing? Like, good God. Talk about unnecessary upgrades. But the rule of cool, man. The rule of cool is king. And I will not get in the way of the rule of cool most of the time. I'll complain about it sometimes, but I won't get in the way. I know my place. Do I need to wait, or can I just go stomping in here? I should probably wait. Well, I feel like that other really, really big army is going to come slap me in the butt. So let's do that. Let's do this. Let's break the siege. And I'm going to wander here. And then go into ambush stance. Because I really want to get... Oh, okay, maybe I can't ambush there. But I'll go over here. Because I really want to deal with their small settlement before I deal with the actual proper Sudenburg. A Thunder Lizard wind spell? What, like a super spell? I mean, we kind of already have that with the, like, incantation of Sotek, and it sucks. So, I mean... Oh, I can upgrade Kimry. Okay, we'll do that next turn. If you had to fight Sigvald, couldn't you just put a mirror on your shield? I mean, Sigvald already does that. He has a mirror on his shield so he can check himself out. Which is why in tabletop he has the stupidity rule. Because there was a... You'd have to roll 2 dice every turn. And if the 2 dice you rolled got higher than a... I think it was higher than a 9. Then Sigvald would stop fighting to check himself out. So, like, you would lose control of Sigvald and his unit because he would be too busy admiring himself and his shield. And, like, his unit was all supposed to... You know, the Mirror Guard. The Mirror Guard, if Sigvald starts checking himself out, their actual job, and the reason they're called the Mirror Guard, is because they would swarm around him so that he could see himself in their mirrors from all those different angles and just, like, admire himself for a few minutes. Which, it was not a good time when that happened. Uh, but at least once he was in combat, you didn't have to worry about it. Yes, I will explore the island, and I will kill all these people. Alright, we're going for Sartosa, because I want that frickin', this one's Vorsinks, right? Yeah. I want that stupid wine. I need wine! So I can get the Staff of Nagash! I've been without it this entire campaign, because you need wine to get it, and there is no wine in all of, like, frickin' Nehekhara. You have to go to Sartosa to get it. Oh my good god. I didn't realize that, like, all of Order was butt buddies right now. Well, whatever. Okay, we're going to war. Do I have Tomb Swarms available? I do. I'll take that. Are all the Mirror Guards stupid sexy under that armor? I really doubt it. I imagine being Warriors of Chaos, they are all horribly mutated under all that armor. Because, it's just kind of how chaos works, my dude. It lures you in with a good time, and then, your good time wraps up pretty quick. I'm sure they're covered in stigmata and a bunch of other nasty stuff. The Order tide consumes all. Sometimes it does, yeah. Tomb King should be able to hire Gotrek and Felix. I don't think the regular Tomb King should. I think only Khalida should. I think Khalida should have a unique ability to hire them. Soonberg does not have wine. It should, in my opinion, but it does not. I will fight this, just so I can weaken these dudes if I don't win. How would I power scale Katep? Like, as a caster? Katep is in the ballpark. I would say Katep is not as good of a sorcerer as Manfred, but I would say he's equal to Archon. I think Manfred's a little more skilled of a wizard than Archon the Black is. Just a little bit. Not by a lot, but by a little. Even though from a narrative perspective, they're very, very, very equal. But I think if they were fighting to the death, Manfred would win out eventually. Manfred is really, really powerful. He just tends to get kind of screwed over by narrative contrivances. Okay, so I think we'll have our front line of Tomb Guard. And then we will reinforce them with Crypt Ghouls. Who are all super high level now, thanks to Archon the Black. Catapult. I think the best place for our catapult's actually going to be a little off to the side. Hey! Arthur Fisher just bought the starter set for the Flesh Eater Courts. Well, congratulations and welcome to the hobby. Any advice on painting and playstyle? So, I don't play Flesh Eater Courts, but I will say this. When it comes to painting, do what I did and go onto YouTube and look up all the tutorials that involve a god-made flesh known as Duncan Rhodes. Duncan, hallowed be his name, is the is like the god of teaching how to paint. And the biggest thing about painting models is thin coats. Very thin coats of paint, dude. Like, it is okay to use too little paint and just add more thin coats than it is to put on one big coat of paint and then you, like, will hate yourself for the rest of time. That, like, using thinner coats of paint dramatically altered my painting style. And I have been very, very happy with my models that I've painted in the last year. My Nighthawks. As for the Flesh Eater course themselves, I think it depends a lot on the color scheme you want to go with. Like, I mean, your imagination is the limit. If you're wanting them to be, like, the more traditional, like, greenish hue colors, that we're so familiar with for like Warhammer Fantasy, then probably the best thing to start with. I would think, well, there should be some really good tutorials on Games Workshop's YouTube page on how to paint, and you can just look for the ones that have to do with Ghoul Kings or Flesh Eater Courts. That's what I would recommend. But outside of that, I would probably most recommend. Ow! I would probably most recommend starting there. If you're wanting to learn how to play them, there are YouTube channels that like really are very, very good at specializing in teaching like Age of Sigmar more than me, especially because I haven't been able to play AOS in a good bit now, and I think I'm out of practice, to be frank. But probably the best YouTube channel I could recommend right now is one called AOS Coach. AOS Coach is a very, very good YouTube channel for beginners. And he's just like a super chill Australian dude. Granted, he talks about the Australian meta, so like you kind of have to take that into account when he's teaching about like builds and stuff. But he does a lot of really cool stuff. Like he'll bring on like really, really good players from across the world to like talk about their favorite armies and like their play styles. So like you can watch an episode where it's like one of the best Lizardman player or Seraphon players in the world, and he talks about like, oh, well, this is why I bring this unit, and this is why I bring this unit, and all this stuff, and it can be super informative. There are also some good channels if you're wanting to get into like just the really chill hobby aspect. Doug from 2+ Tough is really cool, and he's like an absolute sweetheart. Like, Doug from 2+ Tough is probably, like, the living embodiment of a teddy bear in the Age of Sigmar community. So if you're like, man, I just want to have, like, really good feels today and not have to stress out about life, but I also want to, like, be dealing with Age of Sigmar at the same time, then 2+ Tough is where you should go. My absolute favorite channel, though, my absolute favorite YouTube channel for Age of Sigmar is Rerolling Ones. Rerolling Ones is, oh my god, they're so good, dude, and they're hysterical. Like they a lot of they're a group of guys, and they kind of have like a comedy background. So like at the start of every single episode, they do a comedy skit about like Age of Sigmar or just the hobby in general. And oh my god, dude, they send me. Like, I go to a higher plane of existence every time I get the joy of experiencing a Rerolling Ones skit video. Rerolling Ones, they are absolute chads. Oh, no, leave my priest alone. Well, we're taking a beating, but I'm pretty sure we're going to win. So that's good, at least. More scorpions! Just gotta get rid of that stupid steam tank somehow. Ah, I love tomb swarms. I wish... I really, I need to make a petition or something. I really wish Creative Assembly would give us more swarms in the game. Like, we have jungle swarms. Oh, see you, Tomb King. We have jungle swarms, you know, and we have tomb swarms, but I just really wish they would just go absolutely ham on adding all the different swarm units to the game. Like, I so desperately want, like, I want Snotling swarms available somehow for the Greenskins in campaign, even if they were all campaign exclusive. Do I view mini wargaming? Not really. Like, I used to be subscribed to their channel, but... like, and their content is good, but I don't know. It just didn't jive with me for some reason. I don't have like I can't like pinpoint what it is. I wasn't a huge fan about their channel. There was just something about it I didn't really jive with that well. But I literally do not have a specific, like, I can't be like, oh, this is why I stopped watching. There's just something about it. Oh, right, I need to fix my, thank you. I will fix that in just a hot minute. Sphenoms. Probably butchered that. Thank you. I will address that in just a second. As soon as we're out of this fight. God, I hate when the AI is mostly made up of ranged units because it just takes like 6 billion years to run everything down. Once we kill the steam tank, though, I think the balance of power will tip. There we go. Oh, maybe not. Huh, really thought that would give us army losses, but I guess not. I guess they still have their general and some other units or characters. Ooh, good hit. It's me, Travis. My comments on my phone can't be seen for any reason. Can you fix it, please? What? I don't know. What do you mean they can't be seen? Hey, Gotzer, how's it going, man? I'm doing okay today, thank you. Okay, I need to take care of a couple little things real quick. So first thing I need to do is go to Twitch and change my category. Channel. Edit. Total War Warhammer 2. Boop. And then let me find Kiro in chat. See, can I do it this way? Oh, there you are. How do I... Mod. There we go. Okay, Kiro's mod again. Or on Twitch. She wasn't on YouTube. She was on YouTube, but not on Twitch, which was weird. Okay, fix all that. How would I change the end times for Malice? I would have just given him a longer story and probably have had him like betray the Dark Elves to like search for... I would have had Malice probably betray the Dark Elves and join up with the High Elves to try and find a way to like purge the demon and like give him a storyline where he actually gets to like... If he was gonna die, I would have had him like kamikaze his demon. I think that would have been a cool way to go. Like, some shenanigan happens where he ends up being able to get the demon out of him and it starts going on a rampage and he ends up fighting and killing it, but he dies in the... He dies in the exchange. I would have had him go out like an anti-hero because he's not a good guy, but he's also not one of like the greatest villains. Awesome. Alright, we have defeated Sunberg's greatest legion. So now I can take all their crap. Do all Ettins have regeneration? Yes. That is a key aspect of their design. They regenerate. Though their regeneration is not quite as good as Trolls, but unfortunately, Total War Warhammer does not seem to have, like, different... Well, I guess it does. I think most regen in the game is... I want to say it's 4 hit points per second. But I believe there are certain individuals that can get it higher. No, Malice was killed by his demon. Malice was killed by his demon because I think Morathy did I can't remember exactly what happened to him, but it was something like Morathy did something to him so that when Chizarnek, like when he handed over power to Chizarnek, or whatever his demon's name is, is it Chizarnek, or am I mixing up the Warhammer Online demon character? I'm getting my demons mixed up. Wait, which territory am I in? Okay, I'm in friendly territory. Okay. I've never heard of Ettins. Christian, we have a excellent episode of the Monstrous Arcanum series running here on the channel, which introduces players to rare and exotic monsters they may never have heard of before. And one of those monsters is the Cursed Ettin. They are... I don't know if they're like Warcraft Ettins, because I don't know anything. Zarkan, thank you. Yeah, Chizarnek is Warhammer Online. Zarkan is Malice. But yeah, Zarkan kills Malice in the end times. And then like bursts out of his body and starts like killing a bunch of elves. And then Tyrion kills him. Which, I mean, it wasn't a horrible death, but I also felt that it was not a great death. I kind of want Carrion in this army. Just 2. Just enough that, like, when I'm going up against stupid range garbage, I can just snipe people. Still got 6k Muns. El Haik, I'm not really wanting to do anything. Actually, you know what? I'll just get more growth for right now. That way I can get level 5 faster. Kimri's upgrading. Black Tower's got 3 more turns till it's at max. Ooh. Tillian Sartosa. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the Vampire Coast factions are not doing too well in the current build. Hopefully maybe their AI can get a little boost in the next. Oh! There was definitely the sound of someone giving me a tip a minute ago. Yes! Bulwark. Greetings, Zotek. Loving your streams and your whole content. How strong are the Slaawn compared to other casts? Who would win in a... Okay, so Slaawn are the absolute pinnacle of magic. Like, period, end of story. The only creature, from a lore standpoint, that can go toe-to-toe with a Slaawn are the Greater Demons of Tzeentch. And even then, it has to be, like, one of the biggest, baddest ones. Nagash, however, is in that ballpark. Like, Nagash can duel a Slaawn, and it's a fair fight. Teclis would be a valuable asset, but Teclis has a very healthy fear of the Slaawn, and knows that it's best not to draw their attention to him, because they are just beyond. So I would say very much that I would say that Teclis is not in their he is in their ballpark. Like I'm actually going to be making a YouTube video today. I don't know if it might come out today, but if it does, it'll be later in the evening. It might come out tomorrow morning. But I am making a video today that's going to be like a tier list for all of the different... Oh gosh, okay, we need to attack Sartosa like right now because there's a big old army coming. Because I just feel like making a tier list video. I think that'll be really fun. But the I would say Nagash could fight a Slaawn. I do not think Nagash is on the same level as Mazdamundi. Now, End Times Nagash, definitely. End Times Nagash is on par with Mazdamundi and would be a fair fight for him in a duel. But that Nagash had the power of 4 pantheons in him, which is like he was a god. End Times Nagash is literally a god. So, and I think he would be a fair fight for Mazdamundi. I don't really feel like climbing the walls. I feel like it would be better for us to just smash our way inside. I guess we'll play by ear.
For Nehekhara.
Let's roll! I guess we can climb the walls. Let's go! Can't wait for new sieges. Wonder, can y'all hit inside? I don't know if they've got that good of arcs on their shots. This gives armor, right? Yeah. Let's go ahead and drop a restore on our most hurt one. Scorpions! Or swarm. Go, 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 go! Get on those walls! Stalkers! To me! I need your anti-large. False protection. Bjorn's time warp. Kitty. Kill. Any notable characters? Ah. The big thing is I want to focus on getting rid of all the ranged units. Let's go, big guys. Good kitty. More armor. Less armor for them. Ooh, don't die. Why don't you go outside? Oh, please stop crumbling. Damn it. God, I hope... I don't think he was immortal. Stupid humans and their stupid walls. Bring in the bone giants. All this just so I can have something to drink. grief. Oh yeah, dude, I want Ramhotep the Visionary as the last Tomb King Legendary Lord so bad. Yeah, give me Ramhotep the Visionary as a Legendary Lord and Prince Apophis as a Legendary Hero, and we're done. Like, we can call it there. As much as I would love to get, what's his face? Cetra's right-hand man as well.
My dynasty reigns.
Alright, so we've got a staging ground. And it does not have a garrison. Just delightful. Yeah, prepare my defenses.
Submit to your king. I have my suspicions.
Yep, and that... Damn, that Lich Priest is just dead. That sucks! As much as I liked the Light Wizard, I'd rather have the Light Wizard in a different army. I want this lore. I want the ability to, like, buff my guys with physical resistance and stuff. How would I like sieges to play out? My big thing is that sieges need to be dynamic, right? So, like, sieges should be interesting enough that they don't always... Okay, hold up a sec. They don't always play out the same. For instance, like, my big thing is this. I want every race to be able to have unique mechanics. When it comes to... Ah, you know what? A light one would actually be really good in this Ushabti army. Ah, you're good for Tomb Scorpions. Bummer. I'll take the physical resistance. So, like, I want stuff like... Okay, instead of... like, every race should have unique interactions with construction. So instead of it just being like, okay, I build a garrison... It should be like, okay, so what kind of garrison are you going to build? Like, what kind of defenses do you want? Is it that you want to have defenses that are all about, like, protecting, like, the wall? Like, do you want reinforced walls so that they're more resistant to being destroyed by artillery? But maybe in exchange for that, like, the city has, like, an upkeep system where it's like you have to, like, pay a little bit for that every turn. Or maybe you want to have, like, boiling oil over the gates that changes depending on the race. So, like, maybe dwarves would have their alchemical fire that they make for the Iron Drakes, but, like, a big old pot of it. Maybe the elves would have, like, magical flames for their boiling oil. The lizardmen, like, maybe dump out, like, a special toxin or acid derived from, like, dangerous serpents, like venom. Maybe it would be... maybe you have stuff like... the dwarves uniquely have the ability to have, like, rune-enchanted walls that are super resistant, or maybe they, like, can't be broken by monsters. I want to see more monsters that can attack walls, and, like, for big cities to have multiple layers of defense, so there shouldn't just be one set of walls, there should be two set of walls. And maybe on the first set of walls, you know, more monsters. There need to be multiple classifications of attacker too. Like, regular troops should not be able to attack gates. Like, I don't care how good you are, I don't care how determined you are, little berserker man. If you know, no matter how good you are with that little halberd of yours, you are not going to be hurting a gate that big. Like, it's just not going to happen. So, like, infantry should be totally useless against a gate unless they have a battering ram. You know, if you however, if you decide to go with a if you have Monstrous Infantry, okay, so Monstrous Infantry can attack the gate, but it's going to take a long time. And maybe your opponent has, like, murder holes or boiling oil, so they're able to, like, dump stuff on them or do things that are going to be hurting your Monstrous Infantry or Battering Ram troops. Or, like, the Battering Ram has, like, defenses against boiling oil and shooting. So, like, if your unit is on a Battering Ram, yeah, it takes them a while to get to the gate, but that Battering Ram allows them to have really, really high missile resistance. Like, they just need to make it interesting. Like, when I'm looking at a siege, it shouldn't just be, okay, give me something so I can just fucking attack and get this over with. It should be me sitting there, okay, what kind of upgrades does this city have? What kind of defenses do they have? What kind of garrison do they have? What kind of siege equipment do I need to build to make sure I can attack? Every unit should not come with ladders. That is the dumbest shit in the universe. The only race, that should be a racial trait. Like, if you have, certain races could absolutely have traits that allow them to attack walls. Or, like, climb up walls without any preparation. Like, Skaven, absolutely. They should be able to climb walls without a concern. Giant spiders, yes. All the spiders should be able to climb walls without problems. Even on a Ragnarok, I think should be able to go over a wall. Because they had the wall climber trait in tabletop. But like the like ghost units, ethereal units should just be able to go through walls. So like ethereal units can just phase through walls unless that person has spent money to have like blessed walls. If they have blessed walls, well, they're blessed. So undead just can't phase directly through it. Like, it just needs to be complicated and interesting. Right now, it's just the most basic bitch stuff in the universe, and it's just so boring. It's so boring. Like, I can entertain myself in a siege, but that's because, like, watching units fight and, like, getting a lot of infantry clustered up and then dropping something big on them is fun. But it's not because the actual siege system is enjoyable. You know what I mean? Oh, God, are you kidding? I literally came to take this just for the wine, and I'm not even going to get my wine. Oh, woe is me. Sphinx Carver. Oh, Imbuer! I can get even more powerful Ushapti. You know what? Get rid of all these Ushapti, because I can get them at a, like, hilariously higher rank than that. Yes. I can get way beefier Ushapti if I'm just patient. And I'd rather them come in swinging beefy. I think we'll get a cat building here.
Submit to your king. Destroy them.
Alright, so we got both our armies? Yep. Okay, so we just want to make sure we attack before our tomb scorpions are gone. Which, we got 7 turns. Okay. And then this guy is almost certainly going to die there. So we will start preparing for his eventual return. Which, I got nothing. It's okay. We will deal with it. Wait, what hero do I have that has... Oh, that's right, I have a Lich Priest here. But he cannot do jack, because I don't have enough money. Okay, we'll leave him there for the moment. Well, okay, so like miners, yeah, you could have units like miners that would have an exceptional rule allowing them to attack gates or even walls, maybe. Like, I would be totally cool with miners and warpstone grinders having a unique rule that allows them to, like, undermine walls so that they can attack walls. So if you see them coming, you need to, like, prioritize them if you're the defender. Stuff like that. But yeah, I think you could easily make sieges very, very, very engaging. They would just have to invest. Oh, okay. One of his armies left. That gives us some interesting abilities. Yes, I will take more Winds of Magic for right now. We got Stronger Tomb Guard. Any of these? It's for archers, scorpions, chariots. Ushapti. Ah, yes. Frenzy for Ushapti. Yes, please.
Legions rise.
See if you can wound any of these characters. 30%. Yeah, good job. That's a whole captain I don't have to deal with now. I don't think I'm going to go Tomb Prince for this army. I think we're going to stay like that. But now, you know what? If I'm going to get Super Ushopti, I might as well wait until next turn, because then I can use that. Cetra and Age of Sigmar? I don't think we're ever going to see Set. Well, wait, what about Cetrus? Warhammer, thanks so much for keeping your Prime sub going, my dude. 2 months, thank you very much. I appreciate the support. Could I explain what the geomantic web is? Yes. So, the geomantic web... So... A long story short is that when the Warhammer world was first discovered by the old ones, they decided to essentially use the natural power of the planet itself in order to power a lot of their great works. And that included... like magic and stuff. And the way they did that is that the old ones constructed cities, essentially, or various sites all around the planet. So like Itza was built on one, and like all the Lizardman cities were built on one. And many of the important places the elves would come to understand were built on them. And by building all of these structures, it created this web, this web of energy on these ley lines, which ley lines is a concept that exists in our world as well, but obviously does not actually do anything magical. But in the Warhammer Fantasy world, these ley lines on the planet intersect and they harness the natural energy of the Earth. So like the energy of like the tectonic plates pushing against each other, or the planet spinning, the heat and all the excess, fired off by the molten core of the planet. All of that was harnessable energy, essentially. And the old ones, by building this web, a geomantic web along these ley lines, designed a system to basically capture and contain this energy so that they could tap into it and use it to power profoundly powerful spells. Like, probably the most significant spells they cast being ones like when they broke up the continents. So, like, the Warhammer world used to just be one big supercontinent, Pangea, right? So, the Slann, I believe it was the second generation Slann, were created to assist with this, but they broke up the planet into all these different continents and spread them out. They also used their magic to do things like raise the island continent of Ulthuan from the sea, which Ulthuan used to be significantly larger than this, because all these little islands you see kind of out along the edges, that basically used to be where Ulthuan spread out to. And also the inner kingdoms were a little larger. But when the Sundering happened, a lot of Ulthuan got jacked up and sank beneath the waves. But Ulthuan is not connected to the rest of the Earth. It instead is literally floating due to magic that the old ones and the first generation Slann used. But they also used that magic to like move the planet closer to the sun. So like they changed the rotation of the Earth around the sun so that it would be warmer. And a bunch of other garbage like that. So that's what the geomantic web is. And it exists to this day. But now it's part of what's called the Great Warding, which is basically this giant line of power that the Slann use to contain the Realm of Chaos. So like right around here-ish, and then way further south than I can go, but just north of Nehekhara, there are these invisible barriers created by the Great Warding, and those prevent the realms of chaos from expanding towards the equator and slowly but surely consuming the planet. The Slann are the main power behind that. And that's what they spend a lot of their time doing. Like, a lot of the time when the Slann are asleep, they're not actually asleep. Instead, they are basically kind of projecting themselves, kind of like spiritual forms, but they project themselves to... Their spirits kind of float along these way lines and do repair. I think we can win this. Do various, like, repairs and little things that they need to do to properly keep the Great Warding going so that chaos cannot swarm the planet and eat everybody. Do I have videos about book recommendations? I did a video with Turin about it, but I need to do one for my channel. Which faction is the spookiest? Vampire Counts or Tomb Kings? I would say Vampire Counts are spookier because their undead are like genuinely designed to elicit fear and terror, and are like horrifying, unnatural abominations. The Tomb Kings didn't really like mean to be super scary. They're just dead, and because of that, they're just kind of naturally are frightening. But like a lot of the Tomb Kings, of course, have a very morbid fascination with death, which also can make them very frightening. But that wasn't like their intent. It's just kind of an unfortunate side effect of their existence. Kill their general! Do it for Pappy! Beautiful shot! And then summon my bonus legions here. Oh, this is gonna be ugly. If we can kill the general early... how can you whiff? How can he possibly know where I am? What a load of bull. Alright, infantry! Let's roll. This is gonna be really, really bad. I want you to go for them. I want you to go out that way. Unleash my big boys! Summon spooky. Let's get a Spirit Leech on their general. Oh, we got a catapult. That's cool. Let's go! Let's go! I want these ranged units dead, damn it. No, don't try and trade with them. Just go in there and beat the shit out of them. Okay, that one's out of range. Go, Scorpion, go! Go, Scorpion, go! Are these just crossbowmen? Yeah. Okay, kitties, ignore all the melee. Ignore all the melee. Let's just deal with all the range garbage. Point blank, and you missed. So many fucking ranged units, dude. Up. I always love when I click off the screen. Get in here, big guys. Yeah, make sure that unit does not come back, please. Chase him. I want you to pull out. I want you to pull out. Yeah, you make sure he doesn't come back. Yeah, they should be able to take out those mortars pretty efficiently. Oh, no, yeah, you stay focused. Is that another one gone? Yeah, they got one left. Okay, cool. Necrotect. Get out of there. Prince, I want you over here. Ah, no, the Tomb King died. Where do I put... I guess we put these here, because there's, like, just a bunch of garbage here. Oh, they have guns. Okay, the enemy general's dead. Let's get you out of the forest. You're, like, unintentionally gimping yourself here. Yep, you're doing great. Yeah, we need to make sure we're shattering anything that we break so it doesn't come back. So the like 20 Slann left are okay. Well, there's a lot of Slann. There's not like there are more Slann than I think people realize. Obviously, there's not like an infinite number of them, but there are significantly more of them than I think people realize. Because every generation of Slann had exponentially more. So there were like 5 Slann in the first generation. And I want to say there were like 25 second generation Slann. But then like there were like 500 third generation Slann. And then 4th generation there were like thousands. And then 5th generation there were even more. Now there have been no new Slann ever since. But, you know, they still manage okay. All things considered. Where are you aiming? Don't shoot the giant, dipshit! Do I think Sotek and Tehenwan will ever return in Age of Sigmar? Sotek returned in 2nd edition. So Sotek is like full on back in Age of Sigmar, which is awesome. And that's why I'm actually getting back into Seraphon. Is because the Cult of Sotek has returned, and I'm very excited. How many generations of Slann were there? 5. There were 5 generations of Slann. Each is weaker than the last, but even a 4th generation Slann is still like one of the most even a 5th generation Slann is still one of the most powerful creatures in Warhammer Fantasy. But a 1st generation Slann was low-key a god. Was just a god. From the way the Warhammer world now views things, they are essentially gods. And I hope you all are having a lovely day. As just kind of a quick side note, I do want to just say, if you haven't already, please do consider checking out the YouTube channel. If you're like, man, this guy knows his stuff, and I like learning about Warhammer Fantasy lore, I have a YouTube channel dedicated to it, and I've been really working my ass off the last few weeks, putting out a brand new series called the Monsterous Arcanum that features on talking through and explaining like a bunch of super exotic creatures that you probably never heard of or didn't know existed in Warhammer Fantasy. And not only do I talk about them from like explaining their lore, but I also do it from a narrative standpoint. So there's like a whole story wrapped up into it, and I tell a story that I have written myself. So it's original content that explains what it would be like to encounter or fight one of them, one of those creatures. Obviously, it is spooky themed because it's the month of Halloween, and a lot of people have been enjoying it. So I would love for y'all to check it out, and please subscribe if you do. My YouTube channel is getting close to 50k subs, and I would love to hit that by the end of the year. And if we do hit it by the end of the year, I'll do something stupid. I haven't figured it out yet. Maybe you know what? We'll do a cosplay of some kind. That's what we'll do. If we could hit 50k subs by the end of the year on YouTube, I would happily do some kind of idiotic cosplay. Because I basically have been, from the way it feels, I'm basically having to rebuild my YouTube community. Because I kind of went dark for a while, so to speak. Like, you know, I just kind of hit like a rough patch mentally and had to take time off. And I took a long time off. And now that I'm back, a lot of people don't seem to know that I'm back, and the YouTube algorithm hates me. Hates me. So, getting out the word that I'm back in action. And not only, like, and I don't even mean back in action in the sense that, I'm streaming and releasing videos on a regular basis, but, like, I'm doing hardcore lore stuff on a regular basis. Again, YouTube does not want the world to know. So I need your help to get out the word and let people know that we're back, baby. So please help me. Please. I'm begging you. I guess we'll get a new Shopti Carver, not because I'm going to have Ushopti in this army, but just because it'll let me have more. Do more Age of Sigmar lore? Yeah, we could probably do that. What generation Slann is Mazdamundi? Second. Mazdamundi is a second generation Slann. Are there specific actions you can take? Subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure that your notification bell is turned on. And if you've done that, share videos. Like, post it places where you're like, hey, I know these people like Warhammer lore. Check out this guy. Like, you know, if you're like in a forum thread where you think that one of my videos would be useful or interesting, then post it. And be like, hey, go watch this, or any of that stuff. Normally I'm like, I try not to be super annoying. Well, I mean, even now. I try not to be annoying when it comes to like, hey, like, check out my stuff. But, like, I kind of had a come to Jesus moment with myself and, like, really sat down and started analyzing my, my algorithm stuff, like my analytics. And, like, I gotta step up. I gotta step up when it comes to really fighting the good fight and, like, pushing people to subscribe and check out and stuff. Because people just will not do it unless you badger them about it. I was looking at my analytics earlier this morning, and I think 60... I want to say 61... 60... No, it's like 68. 68% of, like, the people that watch my content are not subscribed or anything. And that is a huge bummer. It hurts my feelings. Yeah, like, I would love to be more involved in the Warhammer Fantasy roleplay communities. Especially because a lot of my stuff is from, like, really, really old 2nd edition stuff. But I would love for them to be able to watch it and be like, I would like to use this as inspiration for a campaign. Like, great, please do. Or like, I would like to use this monster or this storyline or whatever. It's like, please, God, do that. I would be so honored and thrilled to know people are using my stuff like that. Isn't that pretty normal for YouTubers? Mine's below average. Like, in a bad way for YouTubers. I mean, yes, it is fairly normal for YouTubers. But mine is even worse. Well, Thomas, it feels good to be back and active. I don't really know what happened, to be honest. Oh my god. Yeah, okay, so the Southern Realms have been apparently fighting no one at all. So, like, the only thing he has to do right now is just fight me. Okay, so all the forces of chaos are dead. Nothing worse than when the AI has just been, like, building up, like, all this time secretly in the background, like some supervillain. Just building up, like, a massive army. Or set of armies. And not having anybody to fight. So when you finally declare war on them, they're like, fight my 30 stacks! Okay, tell you what, I'm gonna let y'all in on a secret. I'm gonna let y'all in on a secret, okay? Because I see a lot of people asking about it, and because of all the shenanigans, to do with today's stream, I will let you in on a secret involving the Monstrous Arcanum series. And I will tell you, from me to you, don't spread this around or whatever, but I will tell you that that the Praeton will have an episode. I'm not gonna say when, but yeah, no. Tilia didn't take Skaven Blight. Estalia took Skaven Blight. I don't know why the Southern Realms are so fucking strong. What is happening? They're supposed to be a pushover set of factions. I don't want to fight the Southern Realms. They're lame. Yeah, the Silken's really cool. Hey, Hugh. I'm doing good. I'm doing well. We've had a little bit of a bumpy day stream-wise, but... Not even going to deal with my mother right now. I adore my parents, but I was dealing with I was talking to my mother earlier today, and they were like, can you get this stuff off the dryer? Can you get this stuff off the dryer? Because usually I do my laundry I do my laundry usually once a week, and I do it on a day when everyone else works. But my sister, who has been home lately, or who moved back home very recently, kind of, you know, like when you live with someone for a long time, like I have with my folks, you know, I've been here for a few years because I just didn't see a reason not to be living at home because it's just a lot cheaper, and I actually really enjoy. When I live somewhere, I have to live in a place where like I can interact with people on a regular basis. So like I don't want to live by myself because it just makes my anxiety way worse. And there was like, I was like, I don't see the point in like, I want to live in my hometown because this is where all my good friends live. Like all of my friends that have been my friends for so many years. And this is also like, this is just where my life is. So like, I'm happy to live at home and there's plenty of space. Like it's a pretty good sized house. And so I had the upstairs to myself. So my sister moves back in and it just like disrupts everything. You know, it's like whenever you have, when you have like an ecosystem going and then this new force comes in and you're just like, but, my sister must have done laundry because she like took out my sheets, which, you know, I have multiple sets, so it wasn't a huge deal, but she just like put them on top of the dryer and left. Bulwark, thanks so much for subscribing, my dude. I really appreciate it. And so my folks just kept being like, move your sheets. I'm like, fine. So I just took them all upstairs and dealt with it. And then I get a text from my mother just a little bit ago, and she's like, I'm so sorry, I think those were our sheets. It's like, I'm just gonna ignore it. I'll deal with it later. I'll just deal with it later. Warhammer, you do not need to apologize, dude. I am happy to ask or answer Warhammer Fantasy questions. Are y'all ready to fight Gotrek and Felix? Let's make sure we have enough. We're gonna get a couple more towers, but once we have enough towers, we're gonna fight Gotrek and Felix here. We're gonna do Gotrek and Felix and the Lich King, which would have been a great book. Even though this book is not going to end well for Gotrek and Felix. What should we have to, like, cap off this army of Ushabti? Do you think Bone Giants would be a good cap? Like a good final capstone piece? I think Bone Giants could work well. I mean, we got, like, tons and tons of melee. And decent range, but this would just give us, like, really strong range to deal with, like, city towers. What is a Goblin Fanatic's job in the Goblin community? So, what a Goblin Fanatic actually is, when you get down to, like, the really bare bones of it, is really funny. A Goblin Fanatic is not a job that you have in the Goblin community before a battle. Because to be a Goblin Fanatic is to be a suicide person. Necrotect Colossus, thank you. A Goblin Fanatic is essentially a goblin that before the battle starts, for whatever reason, usually because they don't like him, the other goblins have essentially nominated him to be sacrificially heavily drugged, and once he is appropriately heavily drugged, they proceed to tie him up so that he can't move, and they strap, or they, like, And they just get them super, super drugged on madcap mushrooms so that they're just, like, out of their mind. And then when the enemy gets close, they untie them, shove flails in their hands, and just throw them out of the unit. Like, they just push them. And you do not survive being a fanatic. It is a one-way trip. Like, that is... if you are a fanatic, I'm sorry, dude, you're donezo. Have a good death, because that's all you've got left to look forward to. I think we'll put another Scorpion in this army. Later. Well, I guess I'll just do it now. I mean, he's in range to reinforce. Bro, if you could get rid of that captain, I would be so happy. Yes! Frenzy on all our Ushapti. I love it. Ooh, yeah, I will give you the Armor of Eternity. Yes. Yes, I will. Wait, should that be on this guy instead? That should... Wait, King Finha. Oh, right. I forgot that my actually good king got spanked through Tep. He'll be back in 3 turns. Okay. So we'll just kind of delay up there until that. Who's more powerful, an Orc Shaman or a Goblin Shaman? Neither. They're just powerful in different ways. How's the co-op in this game? It's very fun, but it's kind of bare. But it's very, very enjoyable. But it has like unique bugs that only exist in it, so you can run into like a lot of weird crap. However, it is a ton of fun, and you can like, as long as you're on the same mods, you can play together, so you can just have like a really riotous good time and just like really enjoy yourself. I know a lot of people who play almost exclusively co-op. You just kind of have to be aware of the fact that there may be like some weirdness from time to time. What were the jobs of the various generations of Slann? Oh gosh, I'd have to look it up. I want to say the first generation Slann moved the planet so that it would start warming up. Second generation Slann moved the continents? Or the second generation... I think that's right. And then I think the third generation Slann oversaw the construction of the geomantic web. Or like the completion of it. The fourth generation Slann... I don't know, dude. I'd have to go look it up. They all had really specific jobs, but I don't remember them off the top of my head. Now, I kind of wish the pirates would attack factions that are not just the player faction. That would make me so happy. Because right now, all they do is attack the player faction. And it's kind of a bummer. Could the first generation... yeah, Grimlock, a first-generation Slann, would look at Nagashizzar and just go... like, it would not even be a contest. We know 2 first-generation Slann. And, like... Or no, we know 3 first-generation Slann and, like, what happened to them. Like, their deaths. And each one of them unleashed such horrifyingly cataclysmic spells. Oh, dear. Welp. There goes Sartosa. Thutep will have his revenge!
You come to the Lich King.
I don't like you. That's a lot of great swords. Yeah, I know. That's all the AI does. When it's playing Empires, it just fucking spams great swords. Oh, the rudeness. Alright, well, just kill my Necrotect while you're at it, please. Just die, dude. I'll be back in greater numbers. My rage has not been ended. merely delayed. Oh, no! Gotrek and Phoenix timed out. Oh. Well, now I'm just gonna kill you because you made me mad. Cowards. Ah. The only Lich King is Arthas? I disagree. I think Archon the Black is a much more successful Lich King. Archon's only died once. While Lich King has died a number of times. He just keeps getting new bodies. And his goofy ass helmet. Arthas was pretty cool though, don't get me wrong. I love Arthas, but I like Archon more. Archon has certainly had a much more successful career. A longer career, I guess I should say. Wasn't Arthas only Lich King for like 30 years or something silly like that? Like, by the actual timeline? Because I know he died pretty quick, all things considered. yeah, Archon the Black's still around, that's true. Though I would note that it is very confusing whether the it is difficult to say with any certainty whether the undead lords, like the Mortarchs of Nagash, whether the ones in AOS are the exact same guys, like they are literally the same people from Warhammer Fantasy, or if they are essentially recreations that Nagash made. It is very difficult to tell because there's like kind of conflicting information on that. We good? We're good. Kill them all! Oh yeah, towers, move. Does he have big boy towers? Oh, yes he does. He has very big boy towers. We might actually lose some people on the way in. Oh my gosh. Okay, when this gets down to like... When this takes one more volley, we're gonna need to abandon it. You can take a little more. Army, I don't care as much about. Charge! I'm just kind of keeping an eye on it. Okay, now we need to get out. Go to the backup tower. It's what we make. That's why we have that tower. It's the backup tower. Carrion, go die for me. Hurry up! Let's send the Scorpion to bust open that gate. Archon, let's ride. Character Legion, to me! Oh, did I start a nerd fight in chat? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Listen, Archon the Black, the Lich King, and the Lich King are both great Lich Kings in their own right, okay? It's not a contest. I was just joshing around. Don't get all bent out of shape about it. What's a good place to start with Age of Sigmar lore? The Rome Gate Wars. There's a series of novels called the Realm Gate Wars. They are a perfectly fine starting point. And they've been consolidated into omnibuy. So they're very, very easy to pick up and read. Okay, we need to take out that siege equipment. It's going to be problematic. Onto the walls, my pretties! Open fire! Have fun! So how does a tribe of half-naked men in the north tame a mammoth and strap a chaos shrine to its back without it going insane or exploding mutations? Well, okay, so there is essentially something that you can think of called, like, the law of mutations, which basically states thus. The amount of mutations a creature can sustain is directly proportional to its size and toughness. So something like a mammoth, which is very, very big and very, very tough, can sustain just a colossal amount of mutations with ease. Kind of like cancer. You know, like if you look at like scientific journals on certain large creatures in our world, like elephants, creatures like elephants don't get cancer. But it's not because they can't get it, it's more of that, like, they're so big that it is basically impossible for their bodies to get a meaningful type of cancer that can actually cause them death. Mutation works in a very similar way. In order for something like a Chaos Mammoth to get so many mutations that it, like, stops being a mammoth and becomes like a Chaos Spawn, like, it's just not gonna happen. As to how do they do it? Very carefully. This is quite the siege. Gotta hand to the Southern Realms. They're really going to the end here. Going to the buzzer. I gotta respect the hustle. I wish Sandvale also gave you a speed buff. Like, it is just not that great as purely, like, it's like, oh, I make it so that you are invisible. It's like, oh, neat, I guess. There they go. All that's left is the Ricky Ticky tank. Everybody kill it. What are trolls? Are they like mammals or reptiles? What are they biologically? Trolls are more like mammals, but they're hyper adaptive due to their incredible regeneration. Like trolls, their incredible regen and their like super digestive stomachs basically allow them to exist on borderline anything. And they essentially get to the point where they will inevitably start to They will inevitably get to the point where they start to like take on pieces of their environment. But they are, I would probably classify them as mammals. You know, they're warm-blooded, they can grow hair, they have live young. I don't know how else we define mammals beyond that point.
Forward. Proceed. Vengeance for Nagash.
Can I explain Cain and Malekith's relationship? Yeah, so Malekith has a very complicated relationship with Cain. And undead in general. Gods in general. Malekith does not care for religion very much. Malekith is so exceedingly arrogant and so exceedingly old and powerful that he does not believe that gods are truly worthy of worship. To Malekith, gods are just batteries. They are just entities that exist to be used. You placate them and do whatever BS you gotta do for them to get off your back. And then from there, you focus on using them until they give you what you want, and then you discard them. But Malekith is not... Whereas many Dark Elves are very genuine worshippers of, like, certain gods, and they, like, actively bow down to them and worship them very, very intently, Malekith does not really give a flying fart. To him, they're just tools. Things to be used and abused to let him get further ahead, and, you know, he doesn't really think or care for the ramifications a lot of the time. And Cain's included in that. Like, Malekith, something that he's done that, like, tends to piss off the Cult of Cain a lot is that Malekith basically, like, declares himself the mortal avatar of Cain. He's done that many times. And, like, the Cult of Cain tolerates it only because they can't afford not to. Because if they were to go up to Malekith and be like, yeah, you're full of shit, you're lying, dude. Like, we know you don't actually care about Cain, and you're just paying him lip service. Well, they can't do that because Malekith would just have them all butchered immediately. But Malekith just views Cain as basically a means to an end to control his empire. And that's really all he cares about when it comes to that particular relationship. However, I would note that Malekith has a very justified hatred of Cain as well. Because for him, the big thing is that Cain destroyed his father. And he's very aware of that. Malekith is one of the surprisingly few individuals who has walked all the way up to the altar of Cain and sat and stared at it. Like, Malekith has seen the Sword of Cain, and he looked at it for a really long time and considered drawing it, which to him it appeared as a scepter, not a blade, because the Sword of Cain will change itself to look as attractive to you as possible. So he saw a scepter, a divine call to rulership to take what's rightfully his, instead of seeing, like, just a blade or a mace or whatever. But the thing for Malekith is Malekith views drawing the Sword of Cain as weakness. He thinks that if he stoops to the level of having to unleash that blade, then he does not deserve to rule. Like, he is, by the moment he tries to pull out that blade, is him basically selling himself to Cain and allowing Cain to be in charge, not him. if you make that bargain, like, you can tell yourself all you want that, like, oh, no, I'm going to draw the Sword of Cain, but I'm doing it because it's what I want to do, or I'm doing it because it'll allow me to whatever. Like, whatever you want ceases to matter the instant you draw that sword, as if what you want is anything to do with has anything to do outside of bloodshed and murder. The only thing the Sword of Cain will allow you to do is shed blood. If you try and slip your way out of that deal, it's not going to end well for you, man. And that's what Anarian learned the hard way. Anarian drew the Sword of Cain because he thought that's all he wanted was vengeance and to kill all the demons and all that stuff. But the Sword of Cain cannot bring peace. It can only bring war. How do you make a cascade of souls? Do you mean a casket of souls? A casket of souls, that's this thing, is the Ark of the Covenant thing. Casket like a, well, you know, a casket like a box. Oh gosh, I'd have to look up how you make it. Well, I guess I can do that real quick. It's not a big deal. Tomb Kings, come here. There you are. Casket of Souls. Let's see. Necrolith Colossus, Tomb Scorpions, Sepulchral Stalkers, Screaming... Ah, here we go. Casket of Souls. So, essentially, the way a Casket of Souls works... Okay, so basically what they are is that at whenever a Tomb King is buried, or his tomb is constructed, every Tomb King essentially has a Casket of Souls during their rule. And the way a casket works is they are these really, really nasty but cleverly designed magical devices that are prisons. So if somebody pisses off a Tomb King, especially when he's alive, well, when they were alive, this was a popular thing. Whenever someone pisses off a Tomb King, the way the Tomb Kings would punish them is that instead of allowing their souls to go to the underworld, they would, or wherever it is they go when they die, the Lich Priests of the Mortuary Cult would rip their souls out of their bodies and force it into a Casket of Souls. And the Casket of Souls are covered in all these really powerful runes and wards to make sure that the souls within them can't escape. And with those angry, tormented souls forever trapped and being tortured inside of a Casket of Souls, what they then do is they bring them out onto battlefields and they open them up, and those souls basically tear out and attack anyone that that's looking at the casket. They don't work the way they do in Warhammer or Total War. In Total War, you know, they're just kind of an artillery piece. The way they actually work in the lore is that the lid is opened up and the souls come screaming out, and they basically attack all the enemies that are looking at you. Wouldn't that make Usirian angry? No, not particularly. Especially because the souls are not always they're not always Nehekharans. But the only thing Usirian really gives a shit about are royal souls. Usirian has like a very classist way of looking at the world, like a caste system. If you're scum of the earth, or you're just like a peasant or dirt, or you committed some horrible crime, like if a Tomb King was mad at you, then if you're going to the Nehekharan underworld, you're going to be tortured for eternity anyway. Yes, it is literally the Ark of the Covenant. Yes. Because you have to remember, most of Warhammer Fantasy is not like original ideas. It is a nexus point between various other fantasy realms, sci-fi realms, and other like IPs. But like literally, the way the Casket of Souls works is that the writers of Games Workshop went to a movie theater and they saw Indiana Jones, and the Ark of the Covenant, the whole thing, and they were like, wow, that's really cool, and then they wrote it into the game. That's literally what happened.
From the north it comes.
Here comes Archaon.
The tendrils of Cain.
Did Malekith love his father? Oh, yeah. Malekith is capable... Well, Malekith was capable of love. I would say now, not so much. Malekith had a wife.
Chaos march.
And he loved her very much.
Must ready ourselves for war.
Malekith very, very much loved his wife. There was even like a pivotal moment in Dark Elf history where Malekith's wife tried to come home to him. And he tried to keep it a secret because he wanted her to come back. Because he still loved her. Remember when Archaon was scary in this game? Well, Archaon, the character, is still really powerful and scary. It's just his faction is... They need to figure something out with that. Looks like they're just literally, like, not able to get out of that little area. Because the AI is probably just, like, punching him in the face every time he tries to come out. Did she die of sadness? No, she was murdered. His wife's name was Aliathra. And here's a fun fact. Aliathra, Malekith's wife, it was a wood elf. And she was Ariel's sister. Ariel, the demigoddess. She was her mortal sister. And she lived in Athel Loren for a very, very long time. She actually ran away from Malekith to go live in Athel Loren because she had the gift of foresight. She had the gift of prophecy. And when she looked into the future, she saw what Malekith would become. And Malekith at that point had been kind of getting more and more and more consumed by his study of dark magic. And unfortunately, in a moment of weakness, it scared her. And she didn't want to be around him because she saw him becoming this, like, terrifying borderline demigod of murder and violence. And so she ran away. And then thousands of years later, she realized that she still loved him and she wanted to be with him. And she felt really bad about leaving him. So she ran all the way back. Or she made preparations to go back, and the Wood Elves were a little bit concerned about it, but they were like, all right, like, if that's really what you want, like, Ariel was like, I'd rather you stay, and her sister was like, well, I'm leaving with or without your blessing, like, I'm going home to my husband. And so Ariel was finally like, all right, fine, but at least let us give you, like, a massive army to protect you. Good grief, Norskins everywhere. But they're not at war with me, so I don't care. So anyway, Aliathra started to go home. No, this was like after Nagaroth was already well founded. Like, Malekith was the Witch King. So Malekith tried to keep it a secret, but Morathi laughed at that because Morathi is very good at getting through secrets. And Morathi set into motion... Morathi murdered her. Morathi managed to find a disgraced High Elf prince, and using her own shenanigans and trickery, she convinced him that the Wood Elves were going to, like, help the Dark Elves, and that Aliathra was, like, a spell weaver who was going to, like, teach, like, offer the Wood Elves allegiance to Malekith, and she also, like, hit him with a spell that made him very, very crazy. And so he led his little horde of High Elves and ambushed and attacked the Wood Elves, and he kills Aliathra. He murders her, and then the second he murders her, he realizes, like, he finally snaps out of it, and he's like, oh, Jesus, what have I done? And he kills himself. And after he dies, word gets back to the Wood Elves that Aliathra was murdered by High Elves, which does not go well for the High Elves. And Morathi thought that she would get away with it. Morathi did not get away with it. After a whole lot of bullshit happens, like, just epic amounts of bullshit, not bullshit as in poorly written, but bullshit as in just crazy stuff that was actually really fun to read. But Ariel ends up discovering the truth behind the matter and realizes that Morathi is the one that led to her sister's death, not the High Elves. After Orion has been, like, brutally murdering the High Elves of Aurelion. Like, Orion went to Ulthuan and was just obliterating Aurelion in revenge on Morathi's, or on his wife's behalf. And he even notes that, like, normally Orion is totally cool, like, just going on a murder hobo rampage. But, like, even Orion was getting, like, really bummed out fighting the High Elves. Because the High Elves are like, it's like Kurnos! How are we supposed to fight our own god? So they just weren't fighting back. They were just trying to avoid him. So it was just like a massacre. And finally, Ariel figured out Morathi was behind it, and the Wood Elves invade Grond. Which leads to one of my favorite stories. Because the best part of that story is Morathi's... the Tower of Grond is under siege by Wood Elves. Massive army of Wood Elves. Ariel and Orion are there. And Durthu's there, like, everybody's there. Just, like, just tearing through her defenses. And Morathi realizes she's gonna die. So she sends, like, a call out to all of Nagaroth to summon all of her allies and all of her troops, and even Malekith. She's like, the Wood Elves are invading. I'll give you whatever you want, but, like, this is you need to come help me. So Malekith, the message shows up from Malekith. Malekith looks at it and he goes, send a message to everyone in Nagaroth that no one is allowed to go help Morathi, and anyone caught trying to help Morathi will be executed. Because Malekith is also not stupid, and he had also figured out that his mother was the reason behind his wife's death. So he just left her. Malekith just totally abandoned her to get killed. Obviously, Morathi doesn't die. She manages to wiggle her way out of it. But she loses and gets the shit kicked out of her. And basically, like, she gets captured and, like, thrown in front of Ariel and Orion. And Orion's like, I'm going to rip her heart out. But Ariel ends up sparing her because Morathi makes a deal with her that in exchange for teaching her how to, like, master dark magic, which Ariel had been dabbling in, if she taught her, like, all the secrets, well, most of the secrets of dark magic, you know, let me go and I'll teach you everything that I am willing to allow. So Ariel agreed to that, which had a lot of bad ramifications for many hundreds of years. But yeah, it's a great story. But yeah, like, Malekith abandoning his mother, it was it was such a good... I loved that part. There have been a few times in the history of Warhammer Fantasy when Malekith fights his mother, and every single time, I live for that. I live for that. Doesn't she say... Oh, wait, no, yeah, you're right. You're right, Living Legend. I don't think her name is Aliathra. I'm... Hold on. What was her name? You're right, Aliathra is the Everchild. What was his wife's name? See, the Witch King's Return... it's Alisara. Alisara. Allisara. Alisara. That's his wife's name. There you go. But yeah, Malekith has actually drop kicked his mother a number of times, and I'm always... Like, I love Morathi as a character, but Morathi is definitely a character you love to hate. That is definitely her classification, I would say. She is not a character that most people tend to enjoy, like, because they actually root for her. Some people do. I know some people that adore Morathi, which is totally cool. Like, I think she's a fantastic villain. Like, any universe that's going to be enjoyable needs to have great villains. And Morathi is one of the best. Well, the reason Malekith does not kill Morathi for it is well, I will say Malekith does torture Morathi. When Malekith realizes that Morathi was behind his wife's death, there is a number of ramifications. One of the other big ones, I believe the first time he finds out, or maybe I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was a occurrence where Malekith when Malekith learned his mother was behind it, not only did he abandon her against the Wood Elves. That's what it was. So when Malekith found out that Morathi killed his wife, the first thing he did was he punished Morathi. Like, he had Morathi arrested, he threw her in a dungeon, and he let her rot for like 2 years. Like, he was furious. He didn't kill her, because the thing about Malekith was that the reason Morathi killed Alisara, like the reason she stopped Alisara from coming home, was that Morathi feared that if Alisara came back, she would essentially like rekindle the kindness and like the good, quote unquote. Morathi viewed it as weakness. She was afraid that if Alisara came back, Malekith would basically slowly but surely be convinced to abandon his desires to take over Ulthuan and become the Phoenix King, because he would instead become focused on like just being a good king and like loving his wife and building a new empire. And Morathi refused to accept that. And in fantasy, or in when Morathi, or when gosh dang it, I keep tripping over my words. When Malekith discovers that his mother, what she did, he imprisons her, locks her up, throws away the key for a while, but eventually he comes to the point of view that his mother was right. That as much as he hates to admit it, if Alisara had come back, then he would have he would have denied his own destiny. Which he was not okay with. Is anybody in Nagashizzar? No. Okay, I'm going to send this guy there. That way he can start rebuilding it for us. How strong is Durthu? Durthu is like one of the Durthu is one of the strongest entities in Warhammer Fantasy. He's a god. Durthu is what's referred to as an ancient. He is not even kidding, one of the gods of Athel Loren. The only thing holding back Durthu, like, from being like true on full deity material, is that his anger and his rage and his sorrow at what has happened to his home, happened to Athel Loren, blinds him from utilizing his full power. We should be friends. Yes! Why did the Tomb King say Manon in game? They're not saying Manon, like the god. They're saying, it's a word in Nehekhara, and I don't know I don't remember off the top of my head what it means. But they're not referring to the sea god. Zerzarnov, thanks for being here, my dude. Have a good night. Did Nurgle kill the Empire gods during the end times? No, but he should have. Because Nurgle almost kills Tal, the nature god of the Empire, but then they proceed to, and like, there's this whole big thing about the Empire gods, and then they proceed to not have any impact on the story ever again for the rest of the end times. So, Nurgle did not successfully kill the Empire Pantheon, no, but he might as well have, because we never see them again. What about Codil? Codil is Durthu's equal. So, like, the way that the ancients, the way that the ancients work in Athel Loren is that they functionally are all of the power and might of Athel Loren combined into a single body. And whenever one of the ancients dies, all of the power that he held is divvied up among the remaining ancients. So now, in the modern timeline, there are only 2 ancients still alive. And the only 2 ancients that still exist are Durthu and Coadil. So, oh yeah, this is a pure Ushabti army. I love it. Well, with some Bone Giant support. But that's why Durthu and Coadil are so nightmarishly powerful, is because they literally have the full might of Athel Loren divvied up between the 2 of them, which is just incredible. Like that is in absurd levels of power. Okay, why don't we send you to Numis? Well, Coadil and Durthu are both insane in different ways. Durthu is not truly insane. He's just like so wrapped up in his own anger and his own depression that he's not able to like really see the truth in front of him. Coadil is just fucking crazy. And while I will note that Durthu survived the Sword of Cain, but it hurt him really, really bad. Like, it wasn't like Durthu shrugged off the Sword of Cain. Durthu got stabbed by the Sword of Cain, and it would have killed him if Alariel was not the incarnate of life and was not right next to him and able to provide healing immediately. Like that sword, it could have easily killed Durthu. But he got stabbed one time, and then he just yeeted Tyrion into the next province. William King, I don't think Morothy wanted to risk it. What's one thing I wish more people knew about the Wood Elves? One thing I wish more people knew about the Wood Elves. I think the thing I would say I wish more people knew about the Wood Elves is that they are not a race that conquers, but they are a race that is very, very active in the outside world. Like, a lot of people think that the Wood Elves, like, just live in Athel Loren and, like, they never come out. Like, they just live there and that's it, period, in the story. And that's not true. The Wood Elves regularly strike out to all sorts of other different forests and are, like, constantly roaming around fighting threats to what they know as the Weave, which the Weave is basically just the balance of life and death on a global scale. So the Wood Elves are, like, constantly getting involved in other lands and other nations and, like, trying to do what they can to manipulate other order races to do what they want, or striking out against... Ooh, we got the Curse of Cannibalism. That means we have regenerating Ushabti for a few turns. That's terrifying. But, like, in the best way.
Submit to your king.
Oh yeah, Durthu had a pretty well written death. It was sad, but it made sense for him as a character. Okay, we're done here. I guess we'll just leave it on this, because, I mean, tax rate. More hex race. More public order. Why are Dark Elves so villainous? Because the Dark Elves, I think, are an excellent take on humanity, in that they are so hysterically arrogant that they believe everything, all other forms of life are lesser, and therefore exist only for their amusement. And even in our world's history, if you go look through history through the lens of whenever humans did not treat life with respect, humans do, even in today, modern day, humans do some pretty horrific shit. Dark Elves are just that dialed up to 11. Because Warhammer Fantasy just likes to dial things up to 11. I think we'll strike out at this reinforcement host. And then I'll let my artillery try and mess up the main army. I really like Hexwraiths, but I need to put in, like, a ticket for them to make... I don't understand why Hexwraiths take 3 turns to recruit. Like, I get that Hexwraiths, like, you don't get a lot of them as Tomb Kings, because, you know, they're, like, a bonus. But it... Three turns for Hexwraiths is kind of ridiculous. They are very, very strong in the Tomb King roster, though. Magical fire damage, it's like a direct counter to Tomb Kings. Yeah, we're gonna need to stop that right now. Ooh, gosh. Go protect the casket. Oh god! I stopped paying attention. Go up! Go up! Go up! Go help! Casket, just run away! Get a Spirit Leech on them. Hurt myself for some magics. You nerds. Formation. Okay, well the Casket's actually doing okay, which is amazing, to be honest. Let's get you over here. Necrotect, I want you over here as well. We'll let the Prince kind of wrap up this area. Or, you know, we could just leave. That works too. I remember when I used to be good at this game. I like that the Casket is, like, winning that fight. It's amazing to me. Okay, their Tomb King is dead. Like, literally every time I turn around, I'm getting, like, just butt slapped. Just a pop! Every time. I really want to get back into playing multiplayer. I'm actually thinking of doing some multiplayer streams here pretty soon. Because, like, we've got the next Everchosen coming up. I just feel super, I feel very, not wrung out, but, like, I don't know what the right word is. Washed out. There we go. Like, I'm supposed to be one of the big boys for casting, but I haven't done anything multiplayer related in a really long time. And I feel like the time to rectify that is near at hand. Son of a bitch! What, did he summon those? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I don't think I'm going to be able to save it. Wait, do you get heals? Oh, of course you don't. Ah! I hate that! I hate it so much! The AI just goes after the Casket of Souls like there's no fucking tomorrow. Drives me crazy. It was literally like just a fucking fraction too late. Ugh. Don't use that word, Sotek. You can do better. You know, I will say though, like, I do enjoy fighting the AI. I like the difficulties I use and like the rules I impose on myself, like using thematic armies and like all this other stuff. Like, I see so many people play this game and they just like bitch and moan about the AI constantly. And they're like, oh, it's not a challenge, it's not fun. It's like, why don't you just not, like, hardcore cheese the game? And you'll actually get, like, battles where the AI can outmaneuver you and be, like, a difficult opponent. Like, it can do it. You just can't, like, deliberately break the game and then expect it to somehow not be broken. Is the Ushabti summon lore friendly? Well, it's not... yes, but not because it's, like, summoning Ushabti was something that could happen. What's actually happening when there's an Ushabti summon is not a summon. What's really happening is that the Tomb Kings, they're basically like waking up. There was a rule in tabletop called Entomb Beneath the Sands, which in this game is just a stance, but in tabletop it meant you could like bury some of your units beneath the sands, and they would show up later. So they would, like, deploy at a later time. And that was, like, absolutely a real thing. So, like, that could happen. But it doesn't really exist in this game in, like, a traditional format. I'm just trying to cast spells to keep my... I'm just trying to keep my Hex Race alive. Hurry up and die, dude! Ah, no, they're dead. Ugh. Man, we lost way too much shit for that. That was a horrible trade. Is there a stated reason that high elf politics are so cutthroat and confusing? Because they enjoy it. High elves, for all of their, like, all of their declarations that they're like the one true heroes of the planet and like their anime protagonists, they have a pretty mean streak to them, and they tend to express that kind of like I wouldn't call it necessarily a hidden shame, but they tend to like get it out of their system by engaging in pretty nasty activities when they think they can get away with it, by like hiding it under the veneer of something else. So like, you know, they'll have all these claims about they're so noble and heroic and righteous, but if you go into their politics, they're like brutal and cutthroat. To the extent of just absurdity. But that's kind of how they like kind of get it out of their systems. But the High Elves love being involved in sketch politics. That is just their favorite thing in the universe. How to get your income so high? Own a lot of territory, mainly. Also, try and get trade where you can. I have trade with Teclis and the Dreadfleet, which is giving me pretty significant income. And then I have a lot of gold in my empire. I'm getting gold from Kimri, from Bel Aliad, and I also have built a substantial amount of these structures, which are Avenues of Monuments. Avenues of Monuments will give you a ton of income. Because with Tomb Kings, you don't lose income to armies. So you keep a lot of your money, as long as you're not like, well, no, there's yeah, you spend a lot of it from turn to turn, but you can't really like lower your income as Tomb Kings. That's the benefit to Tomb Kings. They don't have to pay for they don't have to pay army upkeep. But, you know, the downside is that a lot of their buildings are atrociously expensive. And they, of course, have a limit on a lot of their unit types. I guess let's go for Kasabar. Or, like, this little area. Let's just get these enemy Tomb Kings dealt with sooner rather than later. Oh, that's okay. That's pretty nice, actually. I've done everything for you, right? Yep. Okay. Can't go wrong with cleansing corruption. If we can get this enemy Tomb King Legion just like torn apart, that'd be great. Numas, and he's got the pyramid. Nice. Oh, that's one of the super sexy pyramids. Just gives you all the canopic jars. Get rid of this. Hang on to it. I do ever so like having lots and lots and lots of Tomb Guard. Resurrect, and what is my army? It's yeah, give me Blessing of the Asp.
Keep him at arm's reach.
Okay, so this guy I'm running on foot, because I'm going with like a Tomb Guard centric build. So that means his Tomb Prince is going to be on foot. So we don't want... God, so what are my options? I can nuke enemy magic, be a good duelist, or be a good... let's go for leadership structure. Let's be a good son. Thutep, I honestly don't know what I'm doing with your army. Like, I know I want a lot of constructs, but I also need to, like, have it make sure it's balanced. I can actually see Bone Giants pretty... Oh, no, that's right. We were going, like, Stalkers. Stalker heavy. So, we can get, like, 3 of those. Where are they? Oh, no, Stalkers. And then we could go... Maybe Archers? I mean, can't go wrong with Archers. And I should be able to get one more... Oh, I need characters. Derp. Yeah, that'd probably be good. Chariots. Infantry. I don't really want a Tomb Prince in that army, though. I'll take Fleet-Footed. That's right. I was trying to get a Necrotect for War Sphinxes. That's what I was doing. But I just need more Necrotechs. Oh gosh, I can't get a new Necrotech right now. Oh yeah, I can. I just gotta save up some money. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and just buy Tomb Prince. Just because I can. Have I read Dark Harvest yet? No. Is there a limit on how big a rogue idol can be? Not really, no. It's just a matter of, like, getting all of the proper materials to be in a vaguely orcoid shape. So I guess physics. But once it, like, is animated, it can pull itself together and shit. But no, you could make some pretty nightmarishly huge idols of Gork. Yeah, money is much more of a DJ Kotep issue. That is absolutely correct. DJ Kotep has a really shitty start position. His start position would not be nearly as bad if there was a Western Sea. If there was a Western Ocean, like the map went far enough west where you could interact with and see the ocean and do all that stuff, it would be significantly easier to play Kotep's campaign. The problem is that is not a thing for him, so he has a lot of really nasty issues with not having access to ocean trade for a really long time, which Tomb Kings, a lot of people may not realize this, but Tomb Kings are like a hyper-reliant faction when it comes to trade. They don't need it, per se, but it makes their campaign just like thousands of times easier if they have access to proper trade routes. Because they have a lot of significant bonuses to trade, and it also is just the most reliable form of income for them. Especially because thanks to your, make item system, you are heavily encouraged to collect all sorts of different trade resources, which means you get significantly more money. Okay, my real goal before I end the stream is I want to take Nagashizzar, which is a walk, but I know he can get there. Hear me out. Could Duffskull tap into the geomantic web and theoretically make the planet a giant rogue idol? No to the first one, but yes to the second one, I guess. If he had enough magic. Prince of Sins, thank you very much for the sub. Oh, a tier 2 sub. Thank you, my dude. Have you always been a tier 2 sub? But thank you, my dude. You never comment in chat that I remember, but you've been very generous this week. Thank you. I very much appreciate the support, my dude. Yes, Sphinx Carver. Oh, baby. That is what I like to see. Prince of the Workers. Fair enough. Oh, we got 2 more War Sphinxes that turn. Oh, it tastes so good. It tastes so good. Okay, so we can strip down Archer unit. Okay, so we could... Can I take Kasabar? It looks like I can. Kasabar is like a super sexy settlement for Tomb Kings. I actually haven't played Tomb Kings since they added the unique structure to Kasabar, so I'm curious if it has it. I believe it's for everybody. Yeah, dude, look at this. Kasabar is like god tier settlement for Tomb Kings now. Because you get the Pyramid of King Kotep and you get the City of Bronze. That is absolutely amazing. -1 recruitment turn-wise for all units in local province. That is absolutely incredible. And you get more Shupti, which is just a great bonus. Yeah, that is just slick, dude. Die for art! I've met people with that degree. Poor bastards. I mean, I was in a Bachelor of Arts program, but at least I was studying music education. That has a future. Oh yeah, there is an oasis there, isn't there? Oh my gosh, you're right. Yeah, I mean, that's so much money and growth. Oh my god, that's amazing. Look at that. Minus 5% construction cost and minus 20% construction time faction-wide. Oof, baby. No, it's only for local, for the recruitment. But that's why you make Kasabar into like a military. Make Kasabar into a military province. That way it lets you recruit everything in like one turn. Which is just awesome. What am I going to do here? I think I just want to make this into a... we could get more like big boy shop. Cav, I guess. Shop team. It's fine. Okay, we're trying to get King Thutep ready to invade Sartosa alongside King Nagashizzar. What the hell is Belagar doing? Apparently we are very well liked by the Greenskins. That's nice. I have a funny feeling the Greenskins are probably getting their asses kicked. But, you know, it's something. Hopefully Archaon's invasion dies off soon. That way all the Order factions will go back to fighting each other. Beep, beep. Oh, dang it. I think that's his last great army. Okay, I don't want to quite catch up with him, because if I do, I can't make it to him, and he'll, like, reach out and slap me. Got some lizard boys there. Kind of just want to, like, get all these optional things dealt with. Let's get another priest. How many turns do you have left? 6? Oh my gosh, I'm not willing to wait that long. Is there anything I can get besides archers? I can get skeleton archers. I can get more stalkers. Bone giants. That's fine. Yeah, how's some bone giants? Bone giants and stalkers. There you go. Boop. Here, while you're running around, why don't you grab these dudes? Just to fill up your army a bit. Those Wood Elves will be a good trade partner? Yes, they will. Once I connect them into my network. Do I have any vampire count, homie? Nah, I'm pretty sure the vampire counts are dead. The vampire count AI is terrible. It used to be really, really strong, and then I think they nerfed the raise dead mechanic a little too hard, because the vampire counts are just trash now. Ha! Fool! You fell for my trap. What's the worst lore of magic? Define worst. Like the weakest? Do you mean from a lore standpoint, or like from Total War standpoint, or like what are our parameters here? Yeah, I got my casket back. Wish they would nerf Dark Elves. I don't know about that. I think Dark Elves are pretty okay. In a lot of my campaigns, they get pretty... Dark Elves tend to get slapped pretty hard in most of my campaigns. Okay, so we've defeated his big army. And Qatar's mine. We've taken quarter. Sorry. that was not a good joke. I just know that's how like most my fellow Texans would probably pronounce it the first time they saw it. Dark Elves deserve to be slapped and they would probably like it. Well, that's why you shouldn't do it. Don't give in to their... We don't negotiate with terrorists. Especially pointy-eared ones. Hello, Mr. Turtle. How are you doing today?
The Deepwood protects its sons and daughters. Unwise.
We should be friends. I want to manipulate you into being my friend.
Overlord, what brings you forth from your dust?
Nothing, apparently, because you're just being a total jerk. The Awakened.
Request what you will.
Why you gotta be rude, man? There are dwarves on my beach. What heresy is this? Here, you little punk. Punk? These are not dwarf lands. Get out. Rude little shit. Oh, there we go. Geheb, god of the earth. Even bigger Ushabti. Oh, baby. And then this is Ushabti. Yep. Oh, we can get Hyro Titans. Get buffed by our stuff. Well, that's too late. I like that Archon talks shit to his own agents. It's not like he's like, oh, this weird dude that has wandered in. No. He's like, I don't know, dude. Our agents are kind of sus. It's like, but they're literally our guys. Why are you suspecting our guys? Weird dumbass. I want the big stuff. I want to save my... Do I have any idea why Bretonnia didn't get pulled into Age of Sigmar? Because you can't copyright Arthurian legend. That being said, I dearly hope that we will get a Cav-centric faction, that it will be like the Descendants of Bretonnia.
Awake the Necrosphinx. Move in. Little fool.
Is this his last city? I think it is.
Attend your king. We fight.
Get stomped, you big bitch. Oh, is this dude? Yeah, you better run. Rats. That's all you are, Astalia! Rats! How long till I can get my snake boys? Get rid of the turkeys. 4 turns? Okay. What's my favorite temple city? My favorite temple city... probably Hexwaddle. I have a very big soft spot for Hexwaddle, but that's because it has just amazing stories about it. The Siege of Hexwaddle is also probably my favorite siege in all of Warhammer Fantasy.
Don't expect me to bow to you, mummy.
Called him a mummy! Rude. Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how Games Workshop would handle someone trying to like deal with Bretonnia. I don't know. Games Workshop has gotten pretty lazy when it comes to like copyright stuff in regards to Warhammer Fantasy, which I'm totally okay with. Like, I would prefer them to be lazier about it than like overzealous about it. Ooh, I needed marble for one of the super things I was making, so this is excellent. This is quite the acquisition. So we did it. We now own the entirety, for the most part. Well, no, we own the entirety of the Lanes of the Dead. Why can't I trade with you? What do you mean there's no trade route? I literally own, like, the entire continent. Do I have to own the, like, the... What? Whatever. I can't be bothered. Okay, we're just gonna kind of speed through the next few turns. To get this guy to Nagashizzar. I'm gonna be so upset if there's Skaven there. Yeah, let's go with the Suff. One more turn till you're ready. You can't trade with Wood Elves? There is no reason that should be true. There's no reason that should be a thing. What's the biggest limit to the Tomb King's power? The biggest issue for the Tomb Kings is that they they require a rather significant amount of magic to basically babysit them, to keep all of their legions like properly animated. Because undead struggle. They're not quite as bad as Vampire Count Undead. But Tomb King Undead do require, like, magic to be animated. And they do require, like, Lich... Like, in Total War, they kind of fudge it to make the faction more fun to play. But from a lore standpoint, you cannot have a Tomb King army without a Hierophant. Which, Hierophants are, like, the wizard that's in charge of the army. It is not physically possible for a Tomb King's army to be animated without a Lich Priest, like, shambling after them, making sure that everything is in good working order. Doesn't work that way. Can't work that way. So the biggest limitation, I would say, are the Lich Priests, and that you have to have Lich Priests. Slows a lot of shit down. Okay, let's go back to what I actually want, which is not you. I want... God, I want the big ones, though. I want halberds. I want halberds! But, of course, my nearest, like, level 5 garbage is the Black Tower, which doesn't have that. I guess I just have no choice but to wait, as much as it sucks. 6 turns. Ugh. Really wish the Tomb Kings had a tech that lets you reduce the amount of turns for global recruitment. That would be awesome. Well, Pi, I would agree with you, except for there's this cool thing called Warhammer the Old World, which is that Warhammer Fantasy is being brought back, and a big part of that will be Bretonnia. So Bretonnia is, like, actively going to be re-released sometime here in the next few years. Like, that's 100% happening. Well, the reason they don't have Hierophants in this game is literally just because something that Total War did that really messed with like a lot of the designs of the armies was that in Warhammer Fantasy you were not limited to like a single lord, and a lot of armies could be led by heroes. Like the hero was literally your only character, and you were like, oh, okay, so this is like my big guy. You know, especially when you were fighting smaller battles, usually you would not have a lord, you would have a hero. But your armies did not have to be led by lords. They could be led by hero. But you could also have multiple lords. But like if you were playing Tomb Kings, then you had to have a Hierophant. And if you were playing Vampire Counts, you had to have somebody that could use dark magic. The lore of vampires. So essentially your situation would be something along the lines of like, okay, well, I'm gonna have a Tomb King be my general. Then I am going to have say a Hierophant will just be a hero level Lich Priest, and then I'll also have another Lich Priest that'll just kind of be a normal dude, and then I'll have a Tomb Prince. And then I'll have a, what were they called? Tomb Herald. So the Tomb Herald will be my battle standard bearer. The Tomb King will be my general, because he has the highest leadership. And then one of the Lich Priests, a Lich Priest that has the lore of Nehekhara will be my Hierophant. And like the Hierophant came with like a bunch of super sexy powers. Which is why I actually really, really, really want a Tomb King DLC, like a Lord Pack, because I think they have a Lord Pack's worth of material left. Because I need Lich High Priest. I want Lich High Priest so bad. And I honestly believe that they should have an ability, like an upgrade they get at a certain level called Hierophant. Which maybe could be available to them in multiplayer. And Hierophant should just provide like passive regen to nearby Nehekhara and Undead. So not the constructs, but like Tomb Guard and warriors and stuff. Because I feel like a lot of people just spam the constructs, because the constructs are just like way better. But I feel like if you could take a Lich High Priest as your lord, and he had like a bunch of really cool synergistic abilities for regular undead, then we're cooking. Then we're cooking. Please don't have Skaven here. I just know I'm gonna get up here. I'm gonna be like, yeah, and then there's just gonna be like frickin' Clan Eshin. Just like, oh hey, what's up, dude? I'm just gonna be so sad. Don't play me dirty, Snitch. Don't do it. I don't think CA can justify having a Lord Pack for a DLC faction. Well, it's already happening, so I think they can. We're getting a Wood Elf Lord Pack, which means that DLC for DLC is totally a thing. And I'm so glad it is. So glad it is. Because it just means lots more beautiful content. Did Kotep teach Nagash magic? I believe Nagash, because he was the because of when Tomb Kings have children, what your role is as in like society is based on the order you're born in. So like if you are born Sartoso is mine! Give me that wine, bitch! Give it to me! Give me the wine! Hand it over! It's mine! It took me so long to get... Oh, that's interesting. The Tomb Kings can't build the unique building here? Huh. That's a little weird. I thought for sure the Tomb Kings would be able to build the, like, at least the lighthouse. I can understand why they wouldn't give them the, like, shop, because it just gives you, like, a ton of materials. So you could just, like, hilariously have some goodness. But I'm a little surprised that yeah.
Keep him at arm's reach. Attend your king.
Bro, stop talking dirty about my heroes like that. It's rude. The Wood Elf Lord pack can be bought and gives you access to the race, and they are from a different game. Well, yeah, I think if they do a Tomb King DLC, it's gonna be a Game 3 DLC, not a Game 2 DLC. I'm pretty sure that Game 2 is just about done. If I had to guess, I honestly think that they're gonna give us the Wood Elf DLC, and then they're going to give us. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm hoping they will give us a Beastman DLC, and then we're done. Like that's the end. And then we go to Warhammer 3 with whatever the pre-order bonus is. But like if they could give us Wood Elves followed immediately by Beastmen, I would be more than happy. Call it a day. Call it a game. Because I mean, three's gotta be coming up soon. Only Sartosa is allowed to build the lighthouse. Oh, okay. So only the shop can be built by like everybody. I think Game 3 should just include all the races without needing the DLC from previous games. That sounds like a really bad business decision. Like, I get it. I totally get it. But I don't really see the incentive for CA to do that. Like, especially because you can get a lot of that stuff on, like, just hysterical discount. I understand that it's a lot going in, but my counter argument would be you don't need any of the DLC. Like, all of the races, I'm sure, will be in Game 3, as in they will be available for you to see and fight against. But if you're coming into the franchise for the very, very first time, I don't see why Creative Assembly would have any incentive to give you every single race. That to me, that seems silly. And I'm not being, like, I do not gain any profits from that. As much as I want everyone to have access to all the content, like, just buy what you like and don't buy the rest. Or if that really bothers you, just don't buy it. When is the Wood Elf DLC coming? December. They officially told us it comes in December. But it's like you can get the game so cheap. During sales, you can get like Warhammer 1 and 2 for like less than $30 if you just wait for a sale. Like, just be patient. Like, if you're just like, man, I just don't want to pay full price. That's totally cool. I get it. I absolutely get it. But like, just wait till it goes on sale. I don't think Creative Assembly should just give away all of the prior DLCs for free. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I know. December does feel bad, man. But you know what? If that's how long it takes them to give us quality product, go for it. Yeah, there is a sale going on right now, last I checked. But I think he was just talking in general. Okay, I think we can win this pretty easily if we can get those mortars offline. I really don't want to waste a Legionary Barrage on it, though. I've read everything minus the Beastmen. Yeah, well, and that's, I mean, that's, yeah. Like, I totally see what you're saying. Like, I see the point. It's just not something I personally agree with. Like, I don't think companies should give away their products for free. Unless it's part of like a big promotion or like there's some big incentive, because like they you know, they got bills to pay at the end of the day, and like any money that they are making from those sales are just going into future content, and I want as much future content as possible, which I know makes me sound like a complete shill, which I totally understand. Like, if you think I sound like an idiot, that's fair. That's just my opinion. Okay, I'm waiting for these guns to, like, start firing. That way I can snipe them. Pretty sure we've got this in the bag, though. Yeah, I don't want to fly my carrion out, because they're just going to get absolutely blasted by those handgunners. Let's bring you... Ushabti should be able to handle everything out here. There's no spears. It's just swords and guns. Well, guns might be a problem. Stop moving. Stop. Stop. Oh, money shot! Oh, that was beautiful. Perfect. Perfect. Great shot. Make scenes to you? I don't... What? Which dwarf characters don't have a miniature and should have one? All the dwarf characters had miniatures. The one that is the most outdated, and I hate it, and I want a new one that looks way better, is Thoric Ironbrow. Thoric Ironbrow is such a badass character, but holy shit was his model ugly. Just a hideous model. There, I said it. I know my name's going in the book for that, but I don't care. Somebody has to say the truth. Don't you love when units run inside your walls and then they rally? Because isn't that what you would do in a siege? If you saw your enemy running towards you because you, like, beat him so badly that he's running away, wouldn't you be like, you know, he's had a hard day. He's had a hard day, you know, he's already gotten, like, a bunch of his friends died. I think it's only fair that we let him in. We should just let him in. It's fine. It's fine. I want to get another good volley off. Ah, dang it. A lot of them have already gotten upstairs. There we go. That'll work. Oh, no. Stop that. Okay, archers, let's start shooting both directions. Yeah, horses, just get in there. Okay, mortars are offline. Wow, the balance of power is very prejudiced against me, and I'm not okay with that. Especially because I'm about to get a big old fat Ushabti summon. Man, this is a max tier garrison. It's so depressing when you say that out loud. It's like, this is literally the best I can do. And it is just not that great. Yeah, give me those heals. Like, you don't get a Lich Priest. You don't get shit. They're just like, here, make do with this, like, literal garbage. I had to pay so much money for it, too. A load of crap. If we can kill the general, we might be able to turn this around. But I'm not feeling too great about it. I think we're sunk. But we will fight to the bitter end here. Is that piece of shit which... Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm starting to get hungry. I mean, the good news is we do have a army, like, heading this way, but the bad news is this is a city. And this city even has a pyramid! Like, I can understand if this was just, like, a super basic bitch city, but this is literally, like... This city has, like, everything you would need, you'd think, to have, like, an impressive garrison, but nope. You get nothing. Good day, sir. You have ranged weapons. Would you please use them? Wow, I'm breaking now? Oh my gosh. Balance of power can suck my fat load on that one. What a load of crap. Any reason I can think of why we don't have a Dwarf Lord on top of a shield? Yeah, so... I am working on infinite number of scripts, it sounds like. But, I'm actually making a script about this. But the reason we're missing a lot of really, really cool stuff that feels like it should be in the game, but they just haven't kind of squeaked it in there, like a dwarf engineer having a gyrocopter mount, or dwarf lords and thanes being able to take shield bearers, is just because of animations. Basically, CA has a thing where all of their animations are, like, pretty expensive. Please be here. Yeah! We did it! We took Nagashizzar! At level 3! Right out of the gate. Oh, it feels so good. It feels so very good. Oh, I like that. I like that very much. Oh, Pappy Sotek is very pleased. I don't want to put Wakaf there. I want to put someone dumb. Yeah, you. Your goal is to go take the Desolation of Nagash. Oh, we took the house! Dad's gonna be so happy. We took the house back. Wait, what? Oh, right. I have to make the item. The Elixir of Might. There it is. Recruit the Sphinx of Uxef. Are you serious? Are you fucking serious? Oh. Why? Why is it specifically the Sphinx of Uxef? Are you serious? Oh. Because the only way to do that is I have to get rid of it. And then I have to wait 10 turns. Oh my god. Shut up, dude. Oh, wow. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Ah, what an absolute bullshit requirement. Like, I'd be totally fine if it was recruit a War Sphinx, or a Necro Sphinx. But why does it have to be the Sphinx of Uxkheb specifically? This is such a load of garbage. CA, why do you hurt me like this? Like, I know I talk harshly about you guys sometimes, but it's only out of love. And then, then you just, why you gotta play me like this? Give it to another lord? I don't think that would work. And it's too late now. I don't even want to try it, because if it turns out it works, I'm going to be upset. Like, I'd have to reload my save. I'm too stubborn to do that. I'll just deal with it. Just let me complain! Try waiting till next turn? Well, no, because it says recruit it. Not, like, it's not have... So, there is a difference in quest battle requirements. Sometimes it'll say, like, have X or X amount of X in your army. And then other times it'll say recruit X. To recruit literally means you have to, like, buy it. Like, you have to... It has to be added to your army. You know what? Okay, let's try it. Let's try it for science. For science! I'm gonna save. I'm gonna load the... let's load the autosave from last turn. Just for you. Let him grumble, damn it. Oh, dinner's ready. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up here in a hot second. Oh, and I have the perfect place to send you guys on Twitch. I have the perfect place to send y'all. Someone I like very much is streaming. If you pass turn, you get the mission accomplished. Speaking from experience, how dare you bring... How dare you... I can't do it till next turn. Bring hope into this place. This is a hopeless realm. Living Legend, I highly recommend Warhammer Underworlds as long as it's on sale. Who is Adioth? Adioth is the elven god of wrath? Fire? He's one of the elven underworld gods. Okay, we lost this, so I'm just going to auto-resolve. I am a member of the science team, after all. I wonder if anyone in chat knows what that is. Oh, yeah, this one's kind of rough. Do I want better infantry or better monsters? I mean, I guess we'll go better monsters. I hope no one knows what that's referring to. Okay, so... Have I looked at the... Yes, I'm actually... Fun fact, Bulwark, if you go look at that... if you go look at that mod, and you look at the contributors, I'm actually one of the contributors on that mod. Like, I get... Ah, somebody knows. I see one. Yeah, well, yeah, somebody knows. She's a sweetheart. I don't care what anybody says. It's not. It's not that big of a secret. Okay, so Elixir of Might. And chat says we just need to wait till next turn. So that's what we're going to do. Though I think I can actually make some cool new stuff. Oh, we can make the Amulet of Fasta. Fasta? Fasta? I think it's Fasta. I don't know why it kicked me out for that, but not the other one. Okay, so we made that. No, we didn't. It stopped us. Make it. There we go. Okay, no, there's a couple people in chat. It's funny. I just adore her, dude. She's just a sweet little bean. But a lot of people in chat, like, I actually did a whole... I actually practically had a whole stream where we talked about it. Or, like, various VTubers. But, man, that was a... That was an interesting, like, week. There was, like, a good week where I was just, like, digging through all these different VTubers, learning, like, the technology behind it and stuff. And I was like, my mind is being blown right now. Why don't I use it? Why don't I use what? The Death Mask of Cotternoot. This is better than the Talisman of Preservation, so I will put it on Archon the Black, because he's our big boy. You sound like Azhag. I'm going to take that as a compliment, because Azhag has a phenomenal voice actor. Azhag has a just a bitchin' voice actor. This works on Ushabti Greatbows. Oh yeah, but I want to put that on somebody else. I want to put that on the other Tomb King we're missing. because I've unlocked him, but I haven't recruited him yet. Dang it, need more money. Alright, and then this guy, Wakaf, because Wakaf is like all about ranged units. I think he'll be great for like bows, Shopti, sepulchral stalkers, and stuff. Oh, why don't I use the mod? Because the original reason I didn't use, or the reason I stopped using it, was that in my experience, a lot of the maps were like grotesquely large. Like they were so just unreasonably big that I was just like, okay, this is too much. Like I totally understand wanting all the maps to be like thematic and cool and stuff, but some of the map, like it literally would take like fucking forever to get from one place to another. I don't think I could become a VTuber. As much as I think a part of me would really, really enjoy it, I don't think the Warhammer community is ready for that. I don't think they could handle it. I think public order would take a penalty. That's just not what I need in my life right now. It does look like fun though. Nux. How many Dragon Ogres would it take to defeat a Shaggoth? In the lore, you'd probably need like a dozen. At least. What? Those elves broke their non-aggression and military access to declare war on me? You little shits! You little shits! How dare you backstab me? Like, I know you're elves, but damn! Thought you could at least be, like, a little reliable. So I'm the fool, apparently. Trusting elves, never doing that again. Little garbage people. Oh yeah, I know VTubing is absolutely on the rise. It's true. But like I said, all things have their place. I don't know, maybe one day. Maybe one day. A part of me likes having my face on camera so that y'all can like get to know me. VTubing is it's a cool thing. However, while I enjoy it because of how it changes the atmosphere, a part of me also dislikes it for like it being the only thing you do because it feels very impersonal. Like a VTuber has a lot of interesting. Oh God, how do I say this? There's just a lot. There's just a lot of interestingness to it. Hey, getting higgy with it. Thanks you very much for continuing your Prime sub. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, the quest didn't complete. You lied to me, chat. You lied to me. It did not complete. Here, I'll even test the secondary theory. Why can't I? Oh, right. Oh, you can't disband Tomb Kings. Oh, God, that's so dumb. You cannot disband a Tomb King army. You just can't. Because all of them are immortal lords. Ah, crap. Okay, so I can't really test the other theory for 8 more turns. So I guess we're just not going to test it this stream. Okay, guys, but I actually got to go. So thank you all so... Oh, what is VTubing? Sorry. VTubing are virtual YouTubers. Even though very few of them are on YouTube. Most of them are on Twitch. Though there are some really famous ones on YouTube. Like, literally gaining 1 million... Going from 0 to 1 million subs in, like, 2 weeks. Kind of big. But, yeah, VTubing, they are streamers that have virtual avatars. There's a lot of them. Like, literally, to me, they're kind of like, they're basically kind of like fantasy universes. Like, there's one for you, probably. They have a wide range of genres. It's very strange. It's not strange. It's new. It's new technology, so it's exciting. But in any event, so we're wrapping up the stream. Twitch, I'm going to send you guys to go watch Aerocrastic, I believe, because it looks like he's streaming. And Aerocrastic is, of course, one of the most important people, in my opinion, in the Total War community right now. Because Aerocrastic, of course, made a lot of the rules that we use for multiplayer. And we wouldn't be able to... I do not believe we would be able to have nearly as good and strong of a multiplayer community as we do without him. So offering him support when we can, I think, is really, really important. So I'm going to send you guys off to there. And I just want to real quick say I super appreciate everyone coming by today. Today's stream was a ton of fun. I apologize that we had kind of like that big ugly hiccup at the beginning. Hopefully that won't happen again because I won't forget to make sure my game is functioning and repaired. But I'm really, really thankful all you guys came by. It is always just a ridiculous pleasure to be able to have... Did I do it wrong? Why did it not work? Raid... I know I spelled it right. Why isn't it working? Oh, it's /raid. I'm an idiot. God. So fucking stupid. Don't worry, I'm not sending you off just yet. I'm just getting it set up. Fucking... I hate myself! Why am I so dumb? Anyway, yeah, I really appreciate you all coming by. I do not say it enough, but I love you all very, very much. All of you, very much. Like, coming by, just being present in the chat, chatting, whether you're lurking or talking, but just coming to hang out, it means so very much to me. Doing this for a job is super weird and it's hard at times, but the big thing is that I love being able to share my passion with y'all, and I'm really glad that many people seem to enjoy it. Things are just kind of bizarre right now because I kind of feel like I'm having to restart my YouTube channel from scratch in a lot of ways. But at least on the streaming end of things, life is good. So thank you all so much for coming by. I hope you have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow for the last episode of the Monsterous Arcanum for week 2. Though, of course, it does go through the whole of October. And, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.